she'd have to get off her ass to be noticed, though, so that's not going to happen for a while.
I agree. I'm glad that you've come to that realization.
That it's just I'm just going to have to wait you out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Works for me. So how'd you guys do over the weekend?
Oh, this weekend was fun. We hung out with Justin's sister, who's Justin's niece was playing volleyball. It's so fun to watch girls volleyball when they're just talented. They're so aggressive at the net. It's just a blast. And then I saw the Barbie movie.
There's a shock. You and 160 million other people, or what was it?
It was so fun. And I would say 80% of people are dressed up, like in pink.
Movies are for morons now. I mean, they are.
I don't know why you hate the idea of people getting together and doing something fun.
I don't. It's different.
I saw it Sunday.
Did you like it?
I didn't.
No. Okay.
No. But there's things about it that I did like.
Okay.
There's a lot of. It almost reminds me of Goonies. Goonies is a movie that, in parts, is very good, but when you put the whole thing together, the sum of its parts don't equal a great movie.
Yeah.
And I felt that way about Barbie. There's some very and the end button is one of the funniest things. That's the best ending to a movie I've seen in a long time, but. There were things about it that were weird and disjointed, and Will Ferrell didn't even need to be there.
Correct.
And the whole plot and Ken, and I was just like, what is going on with this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun to be there, and there was a lot of people, you're right, dressed up and enjoying themselves. So it was cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think sometimes the plot really they're trying to make this make sense in a way that doesn't make sense, and I get that. Like, I don't think that the plot was the best thing in the world. But there were so many fun messages and, like, little jokes. And plus, I was in the theater just full of women wearing fun pink stuff. And people cheered at different parts, which was, like, very fun in a movie. I haven't been in a part of that in a long time where, like, you know, there was a speech that America Ferrera made and everyone cheered. And that was cool.
Yeah.
Who was the victim of that speech?
No, I think it was just talking about the roles women have to carry and what that's like.
I knew it had to be negative. It couldn't be positive.
There's a very slanted message to this movie for sure. I agree with that. But
Well, I think
So white men suck? Is that the...
no, all men suck. Not just
all
white.
men, just whitey.
I don't think it's that simple.
Oh, I've heard that from many a person.
I think that it's a very complicated aspect to being a little girl and thinking that is an even playing field, and the reality that comes in, because you're given Barbies, and Barbies do everything, and that's the whole concept, right? Barbies can be doctors, presidents.
And the doll can?
Yeah, the doll. And when you're
okay.
playing that, and I remember being a kid thinking girls can do anything boys can do.
Yeah, dolls can do it, not real girls. Real girls definitely can't be presidents or doctors.
Show me a president, U.S. president.
I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that reality, and that's where you get that angsty teen, is like you're told one thing, and then you start realizing that it's not necessarily as true as you were, brought up to believe. And so that duplicity kind of hits in a way that is probably lost on some people.
So there's a message in there. But I'm just thinking, you've met my you never met my mother, though, did you?
Sorry, I was taking a drink. Yeah, no, I haven't.
That's what I would do right in the middle of a conversation.
Oh.
No, you're right. If you had met my mother and my sister and my wife and my daughter, they're not a notch below anybody.
No, but like the reality of it is, like a woman president is not something women see, but when we're teach our kids, this is something you can be, but it just hasn't happened. And why would that be? We've had what? How many presidents? 50.
Really, 50?
No, I was gonna say, what is it? Well, how many presidents have we have?
40.
Oh, I thought we were at 50.
40.
I'm sorry.
There's another number.
46.
There you go.
6.
Okay,
There you go.
I was
40.
sorry, round it up.
Yeah.
I didn't.
She rounded up by, what would that be, 16 to 24 years, something like that? 16 to 32 years?
Yeah.
But I have a question for you. There are more women in America than there are men. So women are the ones who pick the president, not men.
I understand what you're saying in some theories, but there's a lot of systematic aspects that, like, I just don't think I think that you don't understand and you wouldn't understand.
That I wouldn't understand.
Correct.
That's like the fourth time you've called me a moron since the show started.
No, why would that be a moron?
You just don't get it.
I don't know what
Tom.
it's like to be a guy. You don't know what it be to be a woman. You can have
I'm
strong
not saying
women
I
in your
do.
life.
I'm just saying women pick the president.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, they got more votes than men.
Okay. I think that's really interesting because I think that there's a lot of parts you're not thinking through. If you are raising if you're raising your babies and you're working, and then you have told that you have to go vote between this time, and you don't have a babysitter, you're going to go, why would I go vote right now? It doesn't matter. It's
That's
a system.
lame excuse.
That's a system that you look at. Your options are this, and I'm not saying I'm anti-men running things.
Well,
but,
it didn't sound like it at all.
But if you were to pretend, that men don't run things,
I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying women choose men to be president. They have more votes.
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
And also, it's just a conversation about even, just what it's like to be an aggressive woman, and that's just facts. That,
Yeah, I mean like my wife, you mean?
Yeah, I'm sure many times Catherine's been considered a bitch for just being aggressive.
By who?
By a bunch of people.
Oh, no. Not around me, they haven't. I can promise you that.
I mean,
I don't think anybody would. Yeah, well, you don't think they've come up to her and said that?
No, but I'm sure
okay,
her being aggressive is like, Justin, my husband does personality tests for work. And one of the signs.
Why did he marry you then? Thank you very much. You
Great
just
question.
walked right into that one.
Great question. He does personality tests for work, and so one of the signs he looks for is aggressiveness in men. Like a lot of that is bad, right? Like you don't want this big aggressive CEO, like insanely aggressive. But he has to discount that in women because they have to be aggressive to get to a certain point.
Well, I could take that. I accept that.
Yeah,
That's fine.
and so there's just, and I'm not saying this is bad, and it's just like I want to raise a daughter who feels empowered but not disillusioned.
You mean like Alex?
Yeah, Alex is great. And Alex would have the same conversation with you. I implore you to have the same conversation with Alex with me. And again, I don't have this like let's push men down or whatever at all.
No, I know you don't. No,
And there's a lot of
understand.
complicated things that like were simplified because of Barbie. They're just saying that here's the men, here's the women, But it was just an interesting talk because as a girl, you think that you can do all these things men can, and the realization that just isn't the same. It's getting better every day. I think there's a lot of people in this world who want it to get better, but it's just an interesting conversation to have.
But I have a question for you. It's like the situation of white people and racism. Mm-hmm. As I said before, my family got here 40 years, 50 years after slavery ended. How is my family even included in that conversation? Just because they're white?
No, I mean, I think that I talked to my mom about this, like about men and women stuff. And she said, well, my mom and Beverly is an amazing mom. She said, I treated my girls, you and Lindsay, the same as Jordan. I go, I don't know if that's true, Mom, because
One after another.
Because like, I don't remember Jordan babysitting. Like, it was just automatic that the girls babysat and the boys didn't. And I don't know if Andy babysat.
Andy never leaves his house. How would he not babysit?
So, like,
Andy doesn't like to leave the house.
There was just an automatic assumption more put on the caring end for girls, and it was automatic. I did it too. Like when I nannied, you kind of just automatic, and there's just like a different way you treat men and women, and it just happens.
See,
it's not
it didn't
bad.
happen in my family because
But it did.
It did not. My mother made all the money, did all the raising of the children. My father wasn't around at all. My mother was queen of the world. That's a fact.
I know. And do you think that society would have treated your mom differently if she would have left
I don't
you guys?
give a rat's ass about society. It's so screwed up now. This world is in the worst shape it's ever been because we love to point fingers and bitch at everybody.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not saying you are,
Okay.
but that's what we like to do as the world. I mean, what do they do in Australia? You refuse to do certain things, they put you in a camp. It's like, whoa. That happened during COVID. Remember that?
No, I don't.
It used to be there's not one place left in the world other than maybe Switzerland, which is really expensive to live in. This is all they do now is bitch at one another. 'Cause you know why? You know why we're actually having this conversation? Because corporate America wants us to behave like this. They want you and me to fight constantly so they can have all the power and all the money. That's why this is happening. Right?
I mean, probably.
It is.
I think, but I also think there is times where I like to step back and look at the way I'm doing things. And,
Well, that's a good idea.
you know, the pressure I put on things because the way I perceive them. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to have those conversations.
But, I mean, if we're going to point fingers, like I said, how many generations will it carry on?
I don't know. I don't know what the inequality or unfair circumstances would apply to on everything. I don't know. I'm sure that we'll figure out a different thing to treat differently or have different goals or societal pressures put on. Like maybe it'll be a different category we don't even know yet.
Well, like I said, I just, you can chirp at me. Not you. I'm talking about society can chirp at me all they want because I can go, yeah, once you kiss my ass, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
But I would not bitch about my son around me. That's not going to work well for anybody.
No, and nobody's, I mean.
I'm just saying it better not pass on to my son. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it already has. The conversations, it's bigger than just like how you're, like, I would walk up to Andy and approach him. It's like, maybe he wanted to do a role that was more female dominated and he didn't get the opportunity to. I mean, it's just the conversation about roles that are put on them from the day they were born.
See, I don't know any of these weak women that everybody's referring to, or that women that are being taken. I see. I've never been a corporate America kind of guy anyway.
But nobody's calling women weak.
Well, either men are strong and women are weak, or we're equal.
Well, it's not that easy. It's not saying that women
Actually,
are.
it is that easy.
Well, I'm disagreeing with you on that because I think that it's just different expectations. I think that women have to be strong in a different way, and we have to manage expectation. There's a balance. And I think men do too. It's just different.
Did you go to college?
Yeah.
No wonder. That explains
I didn't
everything.
finish, if that helps.
Well, I don't think. Did you go to college, Rudy?
No.
I didn't either.
Jesus, no.
Not a lot of college grads in this. Look, all I'm saying is I adore my grandmothers, my mother, my sisters, my daughter, my granddaughters, and everybody needs to just leave them alone. See, I have my own little world. I held up my hands and went like this one. My own little world. And just, I always learned growing up, you stay outside this circle and we'll be just fine. So if all those people, whether they're men or women, allowed people to come in their family circle and affect them, that's on them. You stay the hell out of my family circle. There's a halo around my family, and leave them alone.
Yeah, I definitely implore you to have this conversation with Alex or Catherine. I think they would have really great insight.
Well, I think so. I just, like I said, I just don't see the. It's a different generation. I didn't go see Oppenheimer either. I'm not going to sit in the theater for 3 hours.
I know,
and watch the bomb.
I heard it was good. I did hear some people say it felt like 3 hours, which is not a good thing I want to hear.
That's a long time.
Like
homework.
Yeah,
it's like
it
homework.
feels like
That's
homework.
exactly right.
Yeah.
But let me just say this to you, that we try our best.
Yeah.
Some people, not most people, do not try their. No, I would say most people do.
I think most people do.
Some people, especially in positions of power, abuse the piss out of it.
I think there's a lot of things I like learning for my own well-being.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I realize there's some things I've been doing where I put an unrealistic expectation for women and girls to be better with go-go than I do for boys. I didn't even realize I was doing it till something stuck out to me, and
So
that
you're
was
prejudice.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, because I just am, and I'm putting that on me because
Has my buddy Beverly been chirping?
my buddy Beverly, she would love that you said that. But no,
she's
I
a good person, unlike you.
I just think it was one of those things where you think I agree with you that most people I know and most people I'm around, and I want to believe that the public, you really want to do the right things, and you can only you can only do what you know, and that's why like kind of taking those breaks and going, what am I doing? Taking a pause and kind of looking at the way you're doing things is helpful for everybody. I don't know why it's so bad to say, hey, I realized there was kind of like a weird thing I was doing with automatically assuming girls want to hold my baby and kind of assuming boys don't, like little kids, younger kids.
Oh, I can't. I love holding kids.
I know. And so it's just...
By the way, thanks for bringing that up because we were at the pool yesterday with Ethan, and he didn't come up to me once and ask me to hold him. So, he's moving away. You know why he's moving away from me? Because these little blow-up cars he was floating around in the pool in a little blow, and he didn't want anything to do with me. It's the car now. It's not you.
Were you guys at the pool yesterday?
Yeah.
Same.
Just out of curiosity, that thing you were talking about that happened where you realized that there was different expectations for boys and girls, was it the time that I held Go-Go?
I was irate.
There you go. There you have it.
It was actually earlier than that. But that made me irate when Go-Go didn't want to come to me, only wanted to come to Rudy. I'd never met him in her life.
Right.
And was just angry if anyone else but Rudy. And then I was just being held by Rudy and was just kind of looking like, this is us now.
Yep.
It's just
This is where we're at.
Rudy and Go-Go, ride or die.
Okay, so I think everyone should adopt the Tommy method. There's a circle around my family. You stay out there, we'll stay in here, and we'll get along just fine.
I think people would be very lucky to be able to do that.
They should do that. I absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Well, you protect your children.
Same, yeah.
Your
but
child,
I mean,
I should say, not children.
but-
My children.
sometimes they have to go out into the world. Sometimes people are mean to Alex.
Well, she should carry a gun.
When people are rude to her, just shoot them.
Just shoot them. That's it. All right, we do have to move on. But no, I like having conversations like this because
Me
most
too.
people would not have a conversation like this. They'd be too afraid of it. Look, I am not judging anybody. You do what you do. I do what I do. We'll all work together. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
And again, I love the mindset of we're all trying our best. We really are. And I really believe that 99.9% of people in my life are trying their best.
You think that our leadership is trying their best?
I want to believe so. I know there are people that aren't, but like I have to have the mindset of like people do want things to get better all the time.
See, I think they're a bunch of money-grubbing pigs. I really do. Our leadership right now is the worst it's ever been. And the reason I say that is because there's a new situation in the world. You're guilty until proven innocent. And that really pisses me off.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Oh, you did this. No, actually, that never happened. Just things that never happened, and then people just accept them as the truth. That's a bitch. That's tough.
That's rough.
And by a bitch, I mean a dog, not a woman. Okay, so it's totally different.
It's okay. You can say bitch. Nobody hears.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to check this, by the way. I know we got to go to break, but an air quality alert is in effect for central and northern Minnesota through Monday evening. This includes from Minneapolis to St. Paul North in the Twin Cities Metro until 6 a.m. Well, it's already 7:18, so I think they extended it. That's why they sent this over. Minnesota's weather authorities calling forecast first alert days for Wednesday and Thursday. Dangerous heat and humidity are likely. Highs are likely in the upper 90s. Will feel like 100 to 105. Today, partly sunny, hot, and more humid. An isolated afternoon thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, clearing and warm. A low of 69. That's the low is 69, by the way. Tuesday, hazy sun, hot and humid with a high of 95. Heat index near 100. This weekend, it cools down. They say Saturday not as hot, and then Sunday. Yeah, we need to get through the 5 days of the week, and then it get much better. It is sunny right now. It is 67 degrees and sunny as we speak. We'll take a break. Be right back. Bob Sansevere will join us right after this on MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million MyPillows sold. Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98, and just $10 more for king-size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com and click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Mike Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a community bank based right here in the Twin Cities, we believe in taking the time to get to know our customers and their businesses.
And part of that is hiring and cultivating a team of experienced lenders. When your business banks with us, you're not training in a new, inexperienced banker.
In fact, our bankers have worked with many of the same customers for years, earning their trust. We get to know you and your business, and you get to know and rely upon us.
When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity or solve a problem, we'll be here to help you.
Tom here. I know Brad and Mike, and I trust that with my banking, they've personally delivered on everything they've just said. So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Heyo, it's 7:22. I am not Tom Barnard, but we do have Bob Sansevere on the phone. What's up, Bob?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Did you do any Oppenheimer Barbie movie combos?
No. I spent the entire weekend and most of last week at the Wright County Fair because my children were showing horses.
How'd they do?
Sienna did great, and Shane won several classes. Sienna it's a big deal to get a trip. It's a 4-H show, and she got a trip to the state championships, which is a big deal in 4-H. So she's very excited.
Did they do full-size horses or mini horses?
These were full.
Wow.
Bob, do your kids ride equestrian? Is that like the sport?
Well, they ride horses. I wouldn't know if it'd call it equestrian. I mean, my daughter rides English as well, as did Tom's wife and daughter. Certainly his daughter. Did your wife do it too, Tom? Does Catherine ride English?
Oh, God, yeah. That's why we ended up going to the east side of Florida instead of the west side of Florida, because all the horse stuff was over in the east side.
Oh.
I had a friend of mine who, his wife, when their daughter was like 4, bought a Groupon, $50 to go out and let your kid ride the horses. And that has turned into a multi-million-dollar investment because now his daughter is, I believe, like 13, and they expect her to go to the Olympics. Like, she's won like 3 national titles already. And it's $7,000 a month, he says, to be able to take the horses, bring them around. They do the Midwest. They go to Kentucky. They live in Racine, Wisconsin. But he said it would probably cost him about, if she made the Olympics, it would cost him about $60,000 to be able to get that horse overseas so that she could compete. Well, and that's not on top of like just room and board and everything. It's incredible.
It's not too late to put her into soccer.
There you go.
Yeah, World Cup's going on right now, babe. Don't you want to sit on and watch the ladies score some goals? Hey. Come on, yeah.
Did you guys do the intro?
Not yet, no.
I didn't think so.
No.
Bob Sansevere Sports is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. There we go. We got it taken care of. So, Sandy, what's the latest? You guys are talking horses and stuff. Yeah, if I want to sit down and add up the dollars spent, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, that's the one thing about riding horses is that it brings in so much money.
Oh, it just rolls.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Such
Absolutely.
a moneymaker.
Yes.
Flooding in through the door.
No idea.
It's true, but you know what? That's great. It's one of those situations where if you got the dough to do it, it's nice of you to do it, and it's that's great. Good for them. They had fun doing it. Catherine would still be doing it, except for she was rear-ended by a woman on Williston and Highway 7. Catherine stopped at a red light, and a woman behind her comes up 60 miles an hour. You know why she didn't see Catherine?
She's on her phone.
She was putting on her makeup.
Oh.
Putting on makeup while driving a car, there's a smart choice.
That got happened to me. I was at a...
Did it really?
I was at a red light. and I got hit. I think they were going like 30 or 40-ish. It wasn't as fast.
That's fast enough.
But yeah, it like messed me up, and the person was insane. I was trying to like call the I didn't know what to do because we were in Minneapolis.
Right.
And she was screaming at me, "We can both walk away. It's fine." And I was like on the phone. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Did
we
it mess?
can walk away.
I know. Did
Was it glug, glug, glug? Is that what it was?
I have no idea because she was so insane. She ended up driving off. Ooh. Did Catherine, did it hurt her back then?
Yeah, she could never ride again.
Oh.
Ended her horse riding days.
How old was she when that happened?
A long time ago now. She's, I don't know, probably in her 40s, I think.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, but yeah, it was not good. She's sitting at the light, and the woman, I guess she was steering with her knees, which you want to do when you're doing 60, of course.
Yeah.
It's like, God. Like, people in general, you know.
Tom, this did not involve an accident, but coming back from that other station we once worked at, I was on 394. The woman staring with her knees, and what is that, Brittany? What's that thing called when it like flips your eyebrows up?
Oh, you mean your eyelash curler?
Yes, she was using the eyelash curler. It was blind in one eye.
Yeah,
driving with her knees.
I just saw it the other day. I just saw somebody driving down 94, just putting on the mascara, doing 75 miles an hour.
I mean, at least you guys know out of all things I do, I don't come in with any makeup, so you know I'm not eyelash curling on the way in.
Yeah. But when she leaves here is when the clown makeup comes on.
That's when I have to step it up because I'm around attractive men.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Why? Where do you go?
Oh, you know. The gym, I don't know.
Oh,
I go home, you guys. I don't know. I just leaned into the bit.
Well, do you want a little sports conversation?
Certainly, Bob. I cannot wait to talk. Oh, you know what? I got to admit fully, because I was asked last week, and this will be part of the conversation if you don't mind. I watched quarterback for 15 minutes. I have no interest in these people whatsoever.
Really?
You got to give it some time, Tom.
I don't care. I mean, I just don't care about these guys. They're quarterbacks in the NFL. Good. They're making a lot of money. Happy for them. They're happily married. I'm happy for them, too. Dan Barrero got a nice plug on the one that I saw. He was interviewing Kirk Cousins, so that was nice for Dan Barrero.
Yeah.
Paul Allen's voice was on the special. Did they show up several times, or was that the only time they were on?
Allen was on through every time Cousins was there, and they had game because they used the radio voice.
But did they use Barrero again?
I don't know if he came on more than the one time.
Yeah, because I did see that, and I thought, that's a nice plug for a local guy. That's good.
And I guess Judd's voice is on it too. I don't think it was on episode 1.
Yeah, episode 1, he's in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
cool. Episode 1, and then I believe part of 2, and then you hear him again, I think, in like episode 4.
So you don't see him, but you hear him.
No, they only use his voice.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Judd, you hear in the 16th minute of episode 1. So if you hung out another minute, you probably would.
Damn it! If I stayed one more minute, I would have heard him.
I have to like rewatch that.
I'll have to. Yeah, I will watch it just to hear Judd. That'd be great. No, I'm very happy for local people when that happens to them. I got a nice national exposure from it and all the rest of it. And, you know, as a matter of fact, it drove me to pick up the phone and call Meat Sauce and Common Man and see if they want to go play golf this week. So it inspired me.
Well, see, some good came out of it.
It did indeed. No, I just realized sitting there watching, I don't care what these people do or who they are. Or, oh, look, there's Kirk Cousins' shirt blocker. Who cares? Right?
Well, when you break it down like that.
I mean, what makes it so interesting? Is there something I'm missing that would make it really interesting?
I like watching.
I think people feel they're getting an inside look at the lives of these guys.
Well, see, I've been there in person. Maybe is that what it is, Bob? Because you've been there in person.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yep.
There really wasn't much that that would be shocking. I will say, having watched it, that Kirk Cousins, it didn't change my opinion of him as a quarterback. Still think he's the NFL quarterback of Denny Green's or Denny, because Denny could not win the playoffs in the regular season.
Right.
But I like the fact unless he was really putting it on to show, he's a good dad.
Yeah.
He's a good family guy, and he seems like a good person. And that's not stuff that surprised me because I had heard that, but there was some evidence of it.
Yeah, he seemed like a very nice guy. You're absolutely right. Like I said, I ran into him once. I didn't talk to him. He was sitting a couple of tables away, and he seemed very pleasant, and people who did recognize him or whatever. But yeah, I just don't care about that kind of stuff.
Well, it does show the difference between him and Patrick Mahomes and who's an alpha and who's a beta. Because I was talking to Judd about this. When you watch that first episode, they show Kirk Cousins sitting around the campfire with him and his boys, and they're roasting marshmallows, and they're reading scriptures, and they have a bedtime story. Then they show Patrick Mahomes at his 27th birthday party with a giant LED lit up 27 and all of his best friends sitting around, kissing his ass, taking pictures. And you're like, these are two wildly different people on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Exactly why I stopped watching. The ass kissing got to me. I was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
The ass kissing of Patrick Mahomes was obnoxious. And it wasn't his fault.
Sure.
I mean, it's not his fault they do it. But it's like, oh, God. You know, we got every day, Bob, we come in here. Never mind. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think that the impact that the wives have on these guys' lives has a lot to do with the lifestyles that they have and the way they behave. Because your cousin's wife is very grounded. Seems like she's very nice.
Okay.
I'm not saying that the wife of Patrick Mahomes is not very nice, but she's a little, I don't know what word to use. She's a little bit of a free spirit.
Yeah.
By the way, I met his dad a couple of times. He's a very nice guy. Patrick Mahomes Sr.
Yeah, it seems
Not
like
a bad picture either.
No, not bad at all. What we were talking about the wives, I emailed Judd and I said, Brittany Mahomes has such a potty mouth that Kirk Cousins used it to flush the season down the toilet. And he's like, yeah, that's a great way to describe it. That woman swears more than any woman I've ever heard on the planet.
You know what's hilarious about that? I took away in the 15 minutes that she has a bigger ego than Pat Mahomes does.
Oh, I don't know about that.
They're both way up there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
The egos on those two is like, yeah, look, I understand. What is he, 26 when he won the Super Bowl?
26 when he won his first one, I believe. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, 25, 26.
God bless him, man. It's wonderful. Like I said, his dad was a terrific guy. He's not a great player, but he's a good pitcher. And
I always have to keep in mind, it's not like this is the first time they're telling themselves or they're getting told how amazing they are.
Yeah,
it's like they've been in this sport since they probably their first memories, and they're constantly told how amazing they were.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was even a more level when it was like in high school and stuff, because they stood out even, a huge difference. So it's like 27 years old, all you've been told constantly is you're amazing, and I won't think
I understand that.
I don't think it's
right.
that crazy that he is who he is.
Yeah.
But it is amazing that Kirk Cousins is who he is when you've excelled in sports.
Yeah, not a lot of wins is all I'm saying. Well, he wins a lot of regular season games, but not in the playoffs. Bob, to this day, I do not understand that a guy who's double covered 6 yards away gets to receive the pass that should have gone over 10 yards to keep the game moving.
Well,
there's no arguing that.
Absolutely.
Should have. You know what? It doesn't care if there's 6 guys around Justin Jefferson. You throw the ball to him.
Yeah. And
the chances are he's going to come up with it more likely than getting the extra yards needed when you throw short of a first down.
Yep.
And the thing is, I always thought that too until I got to the second to last episode of Quarterback, and he explains why he did what he did. And you go, okay, I don't agree with it, but I understand why you threw that pass. Wasn't the right call, but now I understand. Wrong. Almost like when Seattle threw the ball on, what was it, to win the Super Bowl, and it was half a yard line to score, and they throw the ball.
Give it to Marshawn.
Yeah, give it to Marshawn. What are you doing?
Exactly.
Why would you not do that? And then when Pete Carroll was like, listen, that play had like an 87%. Yard gain, whatever you want to call it. We always got at least 3 yards with that play. So that's why we called that play. And this one time it didn't work. But he explains
you always got a touchdown when Marshawn Lynch took the ball.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So what a dumb move. But I do feel the same way with you about he should have not thrown that pass, but he does explain why it happened.
You know what? He had time to figure out an explanation. It was the wrong play to make.
I like that, Bob. I like that.
Anything can be rationalized or explained.
No, I think you're right. I just, once again, Marshawn Lynch and Chuck Foreman should get together and have lunch because they both should have been given the ball.
Brett McClanahan fumbles the ball.
Yeah, yep.
After the big turnover, a chance to take the lead in the Super Bowl against the Raiders. To this day, Chuck, he said, I would have went up, over, and in.
By the way, everyone, who did Pete Carroll learn how to coach football from? That would be Bud Grant, the other guy who did it. So there you go.
There you go.
This is one of my minor claims to fame, and I don't know how it happened because I got a new racket. They used to have a big thing of Majestic Oaks Vikings and media and coaches, and Pete Carroll really wanted to win. You would do like a round robin of different pairings for tennis, and he was like looking at the standings, and it turned out I got lucky draws because I got like Jeff Diamond, who's terrific. Mark Rosen is a hell of a tennis player. So I got paired up with him, and I wound up beating Pete Carroll. And he just, I mean, it bothered him that he didn't win because he is such a competitor.
I could understand that. Who would you say is a great tennis player?
Rosen's a really good tennis player.
Mark Rosen.
Yeah, he really is. And Jeff Diamond was terrific. The former GM of the team was a terrific tennis player.
Jeff Diamond, I understand, but Mark Rosen's Frankenstein. How the hell does he even move?
Well, because there's so much of him to cover the net.
It is.
Rosie.
I have played so many old men in tennis because when I worked on the morning show, those were always retired old men would hit with me.
Oh, sure.
And if you're good at hitting, you have a consistent hit, you don't have to move that much.
Yeah.
Like I'm sprinting like crazy and they're just consistent. Boom.
Well, Rosie's 6'6", so he gets a lot more speed on that ball.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's
That long
impressive.
arm.
Yeah.
I was good at the net. I enjoyed doubles a lot more than singles because there's too much running in singles.
I could understand that. You know, Rosie's getting married in a month and a half.
Dang. Congrats.
Yeah, congrats. Good for him.
No, he's a great guy. Oh, that's real nice. We're talking about a dear friend, and he's pissing all over Rosie now. Typical
I said he's a great tennis player and good for him.
No, you went, good for him. Yeah, good for you. That's good. That's good. Good for you.
I'm happy for you, Rosie. Good job.
No, I did not know he's a good tennis player. I've known Rosie for 37, 38 years, and I had no idea that he was a good tennis player.
Yeah, he is. I guess he still plays. I don't know. And Gelfand's a pretty good player too. He still goes out and would hit with you.
Does he?
I used to hit with Gelfand all the time, and again, another person who's not sprinting around, but he just needs to keep hit. He's got a great shot, beautiful swing.
He does, really?
Gelfand, yeah.
Good.
I'm telling you, it's like wild. You walk up, I meet people, and I'll be like, yeah, and I'm like, I'm gonna work this. Like, I'm gonna break this person in half. And next thing I know, I'm sweating profusely, and they're like, hey, good try.
Gelfand should try pickleball because this doesn't cover much area there.
He would never.
Why not?
I just know him. He would.
Too low
He's a
end for him.
traditionalist.
Yeah, let's ask him on Thursday. I won't even bring it up, but let's ask him on Thursday.
Works for me, man. Yeah, I did not know either one of those guys were tennis players.
Oh, yeah, Gelfand's so good.
I got the line appearing in my head from Archie Bunker from back in the old days of the Bunker family and All in the Family, but I'm not going to say it.
Do it.
No.
All right.
Because if he would have heard those, who ever heard of a guy like that with a tennis racket? Only who wouldn't have said a guy like that?
I totally agree with you that he would not have, but we are going to.
So there you go. No, God bless them. That's great. Mike Gelfand and Mark Rosen are good tennis players. I had no idea. Good for them. I'm happy. Because you want to talk about Herman Munster. Give me a tennis racket.
It'd be fun to see you hit.
Oh, I would be terrible at it.
I think you would, if you started playing pickleball on a weekly basis.
Well, I like pickleball.
You would be very
You do play it?
Well, and I've only played it once, but I did like it.
You would be very addicted because it is very addicting.
That's what I hear.
And it's nice for like just getting a little bit of that aggression out without being able to hurt anyone because it's a wiffle ball.
There's no sense in using aggression if you're not going to hurt somebody.
I believe that you feel that way.
Oh, that's real nice. What else you got, Sandy?
Well, we should mention your Twins were down 3-0, go to the
Yeah?
bottom of the ninth. They score 3, tie it up, and they win in 12. So they sweep the White Sox in, what are they, 5 games over 500? They got the 3-game lead. They're just running away. Before you know it, people will be saying, boy, I used to think it was Tampa Bay is the best team. Then I used to think it was the Orioles. The Twins, the best team in baseball. Yeah, we'll wait for that day to come, huh?
Well, let me put it this way. It does help them a lot when I watch the game and then I stop watching when they're getting their ass kicked, because if I stop watching, they come storming back and win. So it's on me. I got to know when to step away.
Yeah.
Not only that, but Byron Buxton had a late hit.
Yeah,
he got it all the way up his average, 195.
Oh, God. Whew, that's tough. But hey, isn't that the second series they've won all games in the series in a row now? Or
Well, but they're playing, they aren't exactly playing. They're playing a team that's 19 games under 500.
Right.
And that's what you're supposed to do. And then, beating Oakland, that was another crap team.
Right.
So, but Buxton, he batted him 6, which he's much less. I did throw him at 9th the way he's been hitting, but I mean this Julian is pretty good. Correa is coming around. Kirilov is hitting really well, and they at least have a top of the order now that is serviceable.
Let me ask you a question, Sandy, because Seattle will be a good example. The Twins right now, their pitching far outweighs their hitting.
Yes.
And in Seattle, their hitting far outweighs their pitching, correct?
Blend them.
Yeah, let's put the two teams there. But why do you think that happens? I guess the reason I even bring it up is why you focus on one thing to try to improve it, and the other thing kind of how does that happen?
I really think the Twins thought they had a good hitting lineup.
Yeah, well, they got some good hitters,
and they're going to get back Polanco, and at some point the lineup may be at full strength. Royce Lewis comes back too. Suddenly, they moved Lewis to third. They're moving Polanco to third because of this Julian. So they got to figure out some position. But that's a good problem to have. You know what?
Yep.
Somebody else goes to DH besides Buxton. And at the beginning of the year, said, you can't put him in the outfield. He is hitting so miserably. If he can help you in the outfield, put him there. And you just tell him, hey, you know what, Byron? We'd be protecting you, but my God, you're not hitting.
But I also think their outfield is pretty. I mean, Taylor can't hit worth a damn, but he's a good outfielder.
He's batting .219, which is considerably better than Buxton.
And he's a good outfielder too, and Buxton is as well, obviously. But one thing you can't take away from a couple of Kepler's a good outfielder too, and he hit a little bit in this series, not great, but he had a couple of good games, right?
Yeah, he got his average all the way up to 221.
There you go. Ooh.
That's what I mean. If these guys that they were counting on do come around, I keep saying it's what we think in the one and done, but if the hitters come around, the starting pitching is good enough to make them competitive in the series if the hitters start to hit.
Right. I don't know. I still watch the games. I thought when they were down 3-0 in the they were down 3-0 in the 7th inning, weren't they?
No, 9th inning. They came
all the
back
way to the 9th inning. Well, I stopped watching in the 7th. That's why I brought that up. So it went all the way to the 9th inning. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then the 10th inning, the White Sox scored, and they scored at the bottom of it. Nothing in the 11th, and they came back and won in the 12th inning. By the way, I just want to mention quick. This to me is a good story. Did you watch the British Open?
No.
Well, Brian Harman hadn't won anything.
Right.
In like 6 years, he comes back and wins the British Open, and essentially a landslide.
What was he 10 under or something like that?
Yeah, well, he wound up. What did he win by? I think a 5-stroke lead, and he in a sense blew a 6-shot lead, blew away the field.
Sandy, how'd you like to play golf in that weather? That must have been a ball, huh? Jeez.
You know what? You got to expect the weather there.
Yeah, you're right.
When you're going in. And one thing I want to mention, because we need to wrap up, I guess, is this is a sad story because he's never seemed to – I don't think he's ever going to change. Everson Griffin, Vikings
Sandy.
Defensive end, was arrested on a DUI or DWI charge. You just wish he would turn things around, but he used to be a young man, and now, but it seems like at whatever stage of life, there's going to be issues.
But didn't they talk about he has mental health problems?
Yes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But, many people are helped by meds, but some people don't stay on meds, and I don't know if that's the case with him.
Yeah, we've had a few problems with your Viking players recently, haven't we? He's like the third guy, isn't he?
Well, we had just last week, we had Mr. 140 in his Lamborghini SUV, Jordan Addison.
I was told by a listener, and he's a friend now as well, that he once, when he was a teenager, got in a car and his buddy was doing 140.
Yeah.
And when the cops pulled them over, he made them lie face down on the ground. He literally considered it a felony.
Dang.
It's like, whoa.
At that point, you pretty much, you do have a weapon. You are driving that fast.
Yeah.
You could kill people so easily.
He said that this police officer was not real happy with them when he got him out of the car.
Dang.
But yeah, so the guy driving 140. Then there was another one too. Oh, it was your guy tried to pay $1 million his girlfriend to lie for him.
Oh yeah, we just talked about that.
Yeah, last week. Who was that?
Delvin
again?
Cook.
Dalvin Cook. There you go.
And then all that went to court because she had all the proof that he'd asked her to do all that. So it did not help their case at all.
That gives context why he needs so much money and he wouldn't take a deal from the Vikings.
Right. Is he ever coming
trying
back?
To fund that girlfriend bribe.
Is this going to be it for him? Do you think? Because he tried to do that.
No, teams will still want him. I don't think that unless the league suspends him, he'll wind up playing for somebody. And I don't think that's going to be an issue.
All right, Sandy, is that everything?
That'll do it. And I will just say that you have the greatest whatever lived coming up when it comes to Hollywood chit chat.
Oh, you're talking about Kristyn Burtt.
Yeah, who else?
You're absolutely right. I can't even argue. I can't argue your point.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Thanks, Andy. Bob Sansevere Sports, sponsored by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers. Michael Bryant at Bradshaw and Bryant, bringing you Sandy. We'll take a break. Be right back. What did he call her? The greatest of all time? What was it?
The greatest to live.
Greatest to live.
That was a weird way to say it, but I knew what he meant. Yeah.
So
The
weird.
greatest to live. What does that mean, the greatest to live?
No, is he threatening her? I don't know.
Makes no sense. But that's Sandy.
That's Sandy.
He's been doing it for 37 years now. So
We
that's
love
all I know.
him.
We do love our Sandy. There's no question about it. But we will be right back. Kristyn Burtt will join us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
We've been hearing about the new technology offered at Twin Cities Premier Health for the treatment of ED. This is one of those topics that can get uncomfortable to talk about, but the truth is, if new technology can improve your life by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction, why wouldn't we want to talk about it? Look, I've been going there I think I'm on my 6th treatment this week. Things go very well. It takes about 10, 15 minutes, not a big deal at all. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. If, like so many of my listeners, you aren't interested in continuing to take a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection and wipe all the spontaneity out, reach to the Twin Cities Premier Health like I did and right now receive this special offer. A free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800, 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346 for their office. Or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to tell them Tom Barnard sent you. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Kristyn Burtt now joins us. So you're going to be on till what? You're going to be on till like 8:15 Central Time?
Sure. Yeah.
Ooh, your signal's like delayed like a mad woman. Honest God, you started talking and your head moved about a full second later. It's like, whoa.
Oh, really? I'm hardwired, so I don't know. Maybe it was StreamYard.
Is that happening on your screen too?
It's happening on my screen because you see the same screen I have. It does.
Okay.
Sometimes the video, because there's so many ones and zeros, doesn't move as fast as the audio does, and then it'll catch up. The lag will go away. So it happens every now and again.
Forget it. Kristyn can just go away. Oh, wait a minute. It might be back already.
See? Yeah.
Let me see. Say something.
Hi, Barbie.
No, it's not back yet. I knew. Okay, that's why I brought up you'll be on until 8:15, right? So I'll just leave so you guys can talk about Barbie for 45 minutes, and then I'll come back.
Well, I will tell you, a lot of your listeners want to talk about Barbie, too.
Well, yeah.
I heard from so many of your
Right.
listeners about Barbie this weekend.
It was, what, 100 and some million?
$155 million. Now, let me just talk. I think a couple weeks ago I said, this is projected about 90 million. And then I said, it's increased now to 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they didn't even track that it was going to earn $155 million is astonishing. And I have a feeling a lot of movie theaters were probably overwhelmed with the amount of people that bought tickets. People were probably standing in long lines for concessions. Not a bad problem, honestly, because everyone was very excited. I went again on Sunday to go and see it, and it was a sea of pink. And Britt, I know you saw it this weekend.
Yeah, and it was
sea of pink.
It was cool because the way that it was set up felt like such an event because my nanny mom, the woman I used to nanny for, she invited me with her family. And I don't go to places or like go to movies because, you know, it's a whole formal like, all right, Justin, you're going to go to bed. Like I won't go out unless it's like a thing. And because of that, it felt special. Like we went to dinner. We were all wearing Barbie outfits. My nanny mom made a trivia game that we won prizes with.
Oh my gosh, you guys went full out.
They're very extra. We are all very extra. And because of that, it was just fun to go do something like that. Like there was no reason it was just because it was more of a formal thing. Like we, you know, had got the tickets 2 weeks prior and stuff. There was something really fun about that.
It became an event movie for the entire weekend, and I think it was a very communal experience. I saw tons of men in pink. They were there with their wives or their daughters. It was really cute. I stood in the lobby with my little hot pink dress, and these two little girls came up, and they're like, "Are you Barbie?" I was like, "Thanks, kid, for the compliment. I will take it."
Yeah,
but
except
no.
they meant Klaus Barbie. Thank you very much.
Ew.
You don't even know who that is, do you? You don't want to be Klaus Barbie. Let me put it that
Klaus. Greta y Klaus.
He was a murderer. Anyway, moving forward.
Great. But anyway, I just think that hopefully Hollywood was paying attention. I feel like the last time this really happened was when Sex and the City, the movie, came out and everyone got all dressed up and went out for cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time. And if you want to make the movie special, because obviously this is what is getting people out and buying tickets.
Good.
You have to make the movies to go along with this.
No, I'm really happy to see that people are going back to the movies because I love going to a movie theater. I just love it. So it's good to see people going back.
Yeah. And you know what? Oppenheimer did equally as well.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
$80 million. That was projected at about $50 million. And it wasn't good news for Tom Cruise because the men that would normally be going to see Mission Impossible all went to go and see Oppenheimer. And then, of course, there were some people who were extra and went to see Barbenheimer and spent 5 hours at the theater. But the funny thing in this whole situation, you know, Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible kind of tanked this weekend. Tom Cruise is the one who came up with Barbenheimer. He's like, go out, see a double feature, go see Barbie and Oppenheimer. This is great. Because he thinks he's like Mr. Ambassador of movie theaters now.
Mm-hmm.
And he worked against himself.
Have they made too many Mission Impossible movies, you think? Is that a problem?
I think so. You know, this has been really interesting because last year he was kind of like the savior of the summer with Top Gun.
Right. Yep.
But we have to take a look at what the difference was. Top Gun had what, a 25-year break in between the first movie and the second movie. Where Mission Impossible, this is 7 and we've got 8 coming out next summer.
Yeah.
We think they haven't finished it, and with the SAG strike, it may not happen. They may have to push it. But this is the interesting thing. There is 100% franchise superhero fatigue. And that's what the studios really need to take a look at. People came out for fresh ideas, and hopefully that will inspire better things in the future.
Well, you know, of course, Brittany went and saw the movie. She's been talking about it for quite some time. But she said it got a little political, which I'm not real wild about. But everything's political now, isn't it?
I don't think it's political. It's social. That to me is very, very different. A social message versus a political message.
Really?
Very different. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so we're going to do. Can I just go to a movie and just enjoy it instead of being told how I should think?
Well, here's the thing. You have to remember that Barbie symbolized something very specific to young girls and women growing up.
Right.
And Mattel drove this message for decades. Mm-hmm. And what I love about this film is that Greta Gerwig calls Mattel out for it. Mattel obviously owns the IP for Barbie. Right. They had to approve this script in order for this movie to get made. So they're kind of acknowledging some of the stuff that they had a hand in.
Okay, so they could make more money? Is that why they did it?
Oh, I'm sure in the end that's why. But at the same time, it was pretty wild to think that, like, during the time she comes in, the Barbie goes in the board office and is like, I'd love to talk to, you know, the woman who's in charge here who made Barbie.
Was that at Mattel?
At Mattel.
Okay.
And they're like, well, she's like, I would like to talk to the CEO. And they're like, that's me. I'm Will Ferrell. And then he goes, I'd like to talk to the COO. Male. And it was funny because I was like, I can't believe Mattel signed off on this because they look terrible. And I'm sure that
money in it.
I know. And I think they kind of had to balance both things, right? They're like, there's somebody who wants to convey a message. And they're like, yeah, we've done this. I think there's that self-reflection that I liked.
Well, the movie also, it turns itself in on itself a couple of times because it definitely calls out the ridiculous Barbies that they've sold over the years.
Yes.
I did not know that there was a version of Skipper that when you pulled her arm up, her boobs grew.
Yeah.
Who's Skipper?
Grow with you, Skipper.
Yeah, it's Barbie's younger sister.
Oh, okay.
So you would hoist up her hand and then her boobs would grow.
Yeah.
I know. They sold that as an actual doll.
Yep.
How about Ken when he lifted his leg?
Yeah, right.
That's all we need.
Well, that actually went back inside.
Yeah, exactly.
But they make jokes about that too. They
Oh,
make
do they
jokes
really?
about their anatomy throughout the thing. They're already talking, and this is pretty wild. They're talking about pitching Ryan Gosling for a Best Supporting Actor nomination too for Oscars.
No, listen, the movie is fun. There's moments that it's a blast, but the rest of it, I don't think it's that great of a movie.
His singing part, he did carry. He did carry.
Yeah.
He did a better job.
Section. Come on, that men's dance section where they're all in black.
That was pretty good.
That was really good. I was like, okay, this is like kind of like the peak moment of Barbie. But I wouldn't doubt it. I would say that he was probably a dark horse for Best Supporting because those are the categories you can sneak into. Best Actor, no way. But comedy can always sneak into a supporting category.
So all in all, both of you liked it, and Rudy, you thought it was okay.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think if my daughter and my niece and my mom are all going to go see it, and I said you guys will love it.
Yeah.
For me, it just felt so disjointed. Like there's things in the plot where I was just like, this does not make. Why are you doing this? This doesn't make sense.
You're right. I mean, I definitely think that the plot has gaping holes in it, and that's fine. Like, you know what I mean?
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's times where I'm like, this is silly. It's a mechanism to get from A to B.
Right,
totally.
right.
I think there's enough little, like, nods and inside jokes that it's worth going on the ride.
Yeah.
And then, some of the commentary aspects, you feel very heard. I think, I don't even want to say as a woman or a man. I think all this stuff applies to everybody, is that those roles we kind of play.
Don't be pushing your cat aside. I saw that.
London,
She's
London,
around
low.
here, don't you worry. She's a Barbie girl. America Ferrara's monologue right in the middle there kind of like nails it. Just, I think, with like some of the weight issues and that they kind of like the message that Barbie drove home for a long time, which I think was amazing. She did such a good job with that. And I agree, the script is not perfect, but Greta Gerwig, best opening ever for a female director.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully this, champions females in the directing industry and, gives them more of a light because they don't always get one in Hollywood. And I just hope that this sends a really big message to studios because we are tired of franchises, tired of sequels. Let's give something fresh and original.
Well, even this weekend, before the movie, they have a trailer for a new movie coming out called Blue Beetle. It looks so boring. I'm so done with superhero movies. I'm so done.
God,
I'm
yes.
done with enough of your. I don't care that you got bit by a thing and now you can shoot webs or you do this. Let me guess. There's a villain that has been wronged when he was a young boy and now he's. Wow. What do you know? How original. I'm so done with all that stuff.
A villain in a situation that seems like there's no way they can beat them.
Yeah.
No way. And somehow.
Oh my gosh, I wonder if there will be a big action sequence.
Ugh, it's just terrible.
It's so funny you bring that up because I was like, Vudu, the purchase site on streaming, VUDU it's called. I was looking at the top, I would say 20 movies. You can just scroll down through all the recent releases. I am not exaggerating, saying at least 13 or 14 of them were superhero movies. I mean, that's all they put out anymore is that stuff. It's the same movie over and over and over again. Now, the special effects are great.
Yeah.
But the movie's terrible.
Yeah. They have a new one coming out with Captain America, and I saw the poster, and I just went, no, you've gotten... Taylor Swift has taken 7% of my income. Marvel, you've gotten 10. I'm done. I'm not giving you guys any more money. We're done.
I understand.
Are you a Swiftie?
I am a Swiftie. That's the problem. Yeah, because she's taken so much of my money.
Same.
Can't do it anymore. I love her, but no more.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I have nothing to say about Taylor Swift. I don't know anything about her at all.
She's killing it on the
She is
on her
killing it,
Eras
yep.
tour.
Did you hear-
Yeah, she hasn't even made it to LA yet, so we haven't had the Swiftie mania yet.
You guys have 6 shows, right? Is that how many shows are going there?
Yeah, at SoFi Stadium.
Canada is like literally begging her to come to Canada. They're like,
A lot of revenue.
yeah, they're like, we need the economical boost. Please, Taylor Swift, we are begging you to, like, what country begs an artist to come to their country? Like, that's wild.
There's a rumor that she's adding another leg onto her tour, so
Yeah.
I have a feeling Canada, if it happens, Canada will be in the mix.
Well, yeah, they talking about adding there's all these stadiums that she hasn't hit in the U.S., and so they're like, a possible extra U.S. leg? And again, me and my husband are like, we can't, please, stay away from Minnesota.
Yeah.
We can't afford anymore.
Now, I have heard from a number of people, because I used to be in the record business many years ago, so I know a lot of people. Apparently, she's a very nice person, too. That's what I've heard.
I've had quite a few friends who have danced on her tour. I have one friend that's on the tour currently right now, Sydney Moss, and they love working for her.
Yeah.
Real total pro.
Yep.
My friend choreographed this particular tour, Eras tour. It's done by Mandy Moore, the choreographer, Emmy award-winning choreographer, not the
Sure.
not the
Yeah.
actress.
Not the actress. Yeah.
But, you know, that's the thing. Like, she really is someone who embraces the entire aspect of the tour. It's not just like,
That's
oh,
what
this
I
is
hear.
Taylor and this is the dancers over here. Everyone's really a part of the team.
I'm glad to hear that. That's how people should act when they're multi-billionaires.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew this, but the guy that she sued for groping her in a photo, you guys remember that trial?
Yeah, the radio DJ.
Yeah, that guy was here in Minneapolis when that all went down. And I never worked with him, but he was, but a friend of mine used to work with him. And when this all came to light that it was him, he looked at me and was like, oh, he's totally guilty of that. That is a guy that would definitely, and then you see the photo of it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't believe that you would just publicly do that in a photo op, in a step and repeat with one of the biggest artists on the planet. He is his hand is right underneath her butt and just grabbing it, and it's so. Wow, the balls on this guy.
And keep in mind, like, this woman takes photos with strangers in about half seconds. This has never come up once.
Yeah.
And there's constant meet and greets with her, especially for even Reputation, you were able to do meet and greets. This has never happened once in her life where somebody had done that. Like, and then this intentional grab, and then she sued him for $1.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, she was
Because
like,
he's a disc jockey and has no money.
Yeah, because her thing was like, I don't need the money. I just need to teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
So
well, he can have the legal bills too.
Sure.
So
Yep.
enjoy that. But listen, that the kind of the point of Barbie. Like, we deal with all of this stuff all of the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, people do grab at your body parts sometimes. It's so frustrating.
Well, that's men and women, though.
I think it happens to women more than men,
Well,
but it
I'm
does
just
happen to
telling
men. If you're a Chippendales dancer, you're getting groped all the time.
Well, Chad Daniels, the comedian, he and I talked about that quite a bit. Chad gets his package grabbed all the time.
That's awful.
I was a bouncer at a bar, and there was a woman that walked by me one time, and I was looking at an ID, and she just got a handful, just out of nowhere.
And I think it's terrible. I think it's horrible. I think it's absolutely garbage. I can't tell you one story because there's not one that sticks out in my mind more than, I mean, it doesn't happen to me often anymore, but like at bars, absolutely, that was a constant thing, getting groped, getting touched, getting whatever. Like, and yeah, I just think, and I'm not dismissing that it happened to you once. That's terrible. But like the commonness of that, especially like in the military too, with people I was deployed with and all this stuff, is just constant.
Well,
I think the casualness of it, that's the thing that drives me crazy. And I will move hands. I'm like, nope, small of the back is like fine, but not like my side, not close to my butt, not close to my breast. Thank you.
And the thing is too, I mean, I wouldn't react now like that, but back in the day, you can't react because you're crazy. You're, oh my God, calm down, someone touched you. And I can't imagine teaching my daughter to laugh it off like I laughed it off. We all laughed it off. That guy just grabbed my, wherever, this and that. And we would laugh it off because we had to. I can't imagine saying, go. The best way to deal with it is laugh it off. And that's what you had to do. If you were in a bar and you were to freak out, somebody grabbed your butt, you would be kicked out because you're being hysterical. Get out of here. Or it would just be so stupid. It looked at as dumb.
I have a question. Can you guys picture my daughter being groped?
I would.
I cannot.
Well, I'm sure it's happened.
You think so?
1,000%. Ask her today.
It happened to every woman. Every woman.
I mean, if you're a public figure, it's going to happen to you.
But I don't think
men and women.
I don't think it's public figure. I think it's just. I mean.
I'm not saying in your case. I'm just saying if you're a public
women in
figure.
general.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're a public figure, men or women, they get groped a lot. They just do.
They do because I think people think that they know you.
That's exactly what it is.
They're
so cute. This is my opportunity to meet them. That's a problem. I mean, and that's sexual assault, men or women.
Oh, no question about it. So I have a question for you. I don't understand the upside of groping anyone anyway. Who cares? I mean, the guy doing it or the woman doing it. Why would you do that? That makes no sense to me.
Maybe you think that you're finally going to get your opportunity to sleep with them. I don't know.
Oh, my God. That's a stretch.
I mean, they're so funny when they made, videos that are like that, like somebody, hollering out at a girl and them stopping and being like, I think we have a lot in common. We should pursue this.
Yeah. We should hook up.
You like my shoes? So do I.
It makes no sense to me why you would do that. I guess, are they drunk usually, do you think?
Probably. I'm sure there's some alcohol involved some of the time.
Yeah, probably. And it's just stupid. Just leave people alone. Like I said, there's a halo. Stay outside the halo. That's all I'm saying.
I hope it happens less, and I truly believe it happens less, but also I'm so far away from those situations more. It's rare I'm going to bars as much.
Yeah.
And then also on top of it, I feel if COVID really got people to just not touch humans.
Good point.
If you don't know each other, it's not worth possibly getting COVID, so just don't.
People's behavior, I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. And would I know the guy who groped Taylor Swift?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not sure.
I'd never heard of it. I didn't even know it was here.
Yeah, I don't think that picture was taken here, but he worked here in Minneapolis.
What station?
I think he was over at iHeart. I'm not sure exactly which stations he was at.
iHeart loved that.
Well,
it was Denver.
It was Denver, yeah, but he was a guy that worked here.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
Oh, so he didn't work here when it happened?
It didn't work here when it happened. The photo was in Denver, but he was a guy who worked here for a few years, and then a guy that I worked with knew him personally and worked side by side with him for years and said, oh, yeah, no, that's definitely that guy. He would tell stories. They would go to bars, and people would walk up. He'd walk up to the bar and be like, "Hi, can I get a Miller Lite because, I'm so and so from insert radio station." And they'd be like, "Okay, great. You want to start a tab? We don't know who you are, you weirdo." He was one of those guys who just always used his celebrity to kind of, project him a little bit further.
See, I would have a great fear if I even thought of doing that this young lady might have a very large brother and I might get my ass handed to me. So I'm good.
Well, that's what I brought up because this guy's a kind of a big guy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, okay. And I brought it up to Officer Dave the other day. I was like, yeah, guys like Officer Dave can say stuff, whatever you want, because more than likely you're not going to get your ass kicked. When I'm 5'6", if I tried to grab Taylor Swift's ass, she would put me in a pretzel.
Probably true.
I'm a tiny man. She would kill me.
I also think we always have to be very thankful that that's not how we get our kicks.
Yeah.
And again, I hate to say it in a weird way, but God, if that's your big thrill is grabbing someone's butt, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I know.
I pay for it like a decent human being, okay?
You sure do.
Thank you.
You
what's amazing about you? That just has occurred to me while you guys were talking. I have never just gone up and grabbed Catherine's butt, and we've been married for almost 40 years.
Justin does it. I don't mind. I don't know.
So that's okay now. Why is that okay?
Because he's my husband.
Doesn't matter.
And
I don't care.
It's not like we're in the middle of a fight and he does it. It's usually I'm doing dishes, or I'm wearing something cute. I mean, or he's doing dishes, or he's
in front of them. You're gonna get a love tap.
Yeah, there's times he'll walk by and grab my butt. Oh yeah, but we're in a good place at the time. Obviously you can tell when there's tension, and if he was to go and hit me on the butt, I would probably full swing at him. But I don't know. I mean, everyone's relationship's different. Like,
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
It's just I just never even thought of doing something like that.
yeah, I don't.
Whatever.
It's part of our like routine for sure. Like,
There you go.
it's funny if I feel like I look really cute and he doesn't do it. I'm kind of like, dang. Or I'll like stick out my butt at him a little.
You're like, here's my butt.
Nice balance in your life. That's all I have to say.
But I mean, anybody else. It's just funny how like I have that relationship with him. Nobody else in the history of the world should be touching my butt.
No, I understand.
Like,
it's you're safe with me because I don't do that kind of stuff.
you don't. Of
I
course
just don't
you
do that stuff because I never have.
Of course you don't. And you and Rudy, I cannot imagine.
And that is appreciated.
I would literally cry if one of you two did it. Like, I would literally cry because that's what's so funny is like the people in your life you just feel so safe with. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course not. That'd be wild.
I don't understand the thinking of someone why you think you have the right to go up and touch I don't care if you touch them on the shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't touch people. I mean, what are you doing?
It's so
Unless you know them, then you pat them on the back or whatever. That's good.
It's so odd when you do have to have an interaction with somebody. I'm always very vocal about it. Like, hey, I'm scooting by you. I'm right behind you. Like, if you're like in a tight area and they have like a drink in their hand, you don't want them to like turn around. You're like, hey,
I understand.
Or like,
yeah.
hey, there's a sticker on you. Is it okay? I'm gonna remove it. Like, it's so intentionally, as it probably should be, because you just don't know anyone's background or what they've dealt with. But it's always like, hey, I'm coming by you. 1 second, I'm sneaking. Oh, okay. Have a good one. Like,
They do that in workout classes now. Can I make an adjustment?
Yeah.
And they ask if they can touch you. They don't
Well,
just
that's
like
good.
go and correct you.
That's good.
I love having
I've never seen
adjustments.
anyone say no, but I'm sure it does happen to some people.
Get away from me.
In my gym too, there's some classes that have cards, and if you don't want to be touched, you just grab one of those cards and put it next to your yoga mat. Like, don't adjust me kind of thing. So
I do that with
love
my
the
chiropractor. Don't touch me.
don't touch me. I'll do it myself.
Yeah. That's why my head's sideways all the time. No,
I love the sound of cracking though.
So do I.
Oh, because it feels good that when it's all over.
Yeah.
You're
And
looser.
the relief of it.
Yeah.
So I love cracking my back in the morning. It's just
Oh,
like,
God, yeah. Yep, I
best.
understand that completely. All right, well, look at all the problems in the world we solved. And I do realize that maybe, once again, it's where you grew up. Because I can't even imagine somebody in my neighborhood, and I'm sure it happened, I just don't know about it. You didn't want to be touching people where I grew up without asking them.
Yeah.
That was very dangerous, I will tell you that. So
I don't know. I've
I
lived
guess
all
that's
over the
way it is.
country. Sexual harassment comes in every single
I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I would be very careful in like your very urban neighborhoods, touching people you don't know. That could get to be a big problem. Oh, you touch my back? How about if my bullet touches you right between the eyes? What do you think of that? Yeah, it'd be too dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard when you're 5'3". People just think, oh, easy target.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah,
I
suppose
bet.
that's true.
Do people pick you up a lot?
Yep, you get picked up a lot.
Really?
I've had like 2 people in my life pick me up for no reason, and I'm really tall and big. So it's like I can't imagine being like a little, like just people, the obligation they have to like pick you up. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine who's a comedian, 5'2". And every time we go out and do shows, after the show, somebody will always walk by and pick him up.
God.
Why?
And I'm like, that is so emasculating. He's like, you have no idea. And he's
would
like, and I
hate
just
that.
smile and I just like, thanks for coming tonight. But there's always a guy who's like 6'4", who's like, get over here, you little bugger. And he picks him up and he's like, giving him a big bear hug. And he's like, I'm an adult man.
I'm an adult
43
man.
years old. What are you doing?
I'm forced to pay taxes.
That's
Don't.
terrible.
I want full control of my body at all times.
The piggybacks are good. Like if you're like walking far, a good piggyback is fine, but you do get picked up a lot. When
Now,
you're short.
the one thing I will do to men and women both is sneak up behind them and put them in a headlock. I do that. And cut off their breathing. No, I don't cut off their breathing.
Casually.
Are you the new serial killer?
Oh, who's the new? Oh, you mean Gilgo?
Yeah, Gilgo Beach.
Oh, is that how he did it?
I don't know how
Did
he
he
did
choke
it
him
actually.
out? Because everybody thinks he looks like my brother. I don't
Well,
like
he
anything.
did strangle him because he used there was some belts that was found that's evidence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, didn't he have like a torture room in his house or something, they're saying?
They believe that the killings actually happened in his basement at his home, which is horrific for his daughter and his wife who had no clue this was going on. So the trauma there is that's lifelong.
So look at all the stuff we solved today. Just you wait over there. Like I said, you guys, you wait over there. I talked about the halo around my family. Don't come inside the halo without permission, and we'll all be good.
Yeah, that guy did ask to touch those people, though. He did
Yeah,
ask
I'm
for
sure
consent.
he did. Yeah,
they
exactly.
said no. He didn't listen, but he did ask.
He did ask.
Yes.
And that is progression.
Is it up to 11 people now he may have killed? Something like that?
Currently, he's only been charged, I think, in 3. The fourth one is coming, but they are looking into an additional 7.
Oh, my God. I've still never understood what is it about you that you need to go kill prostitutes? Because they were all prostitutes, weren't they?
Yes, they were all sex workers.
Sex
and
workers, yeah,
and
there you go.
interesting, too, is that, I mean, he was working a very high-profile architecture career.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, he worked for the Trump organization. Like, he had jobs that were high level. And that's the thing. Like, serial killers walk amongst us, people.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. The killers are amongst us. There's no question about it. All right, we'll have a magnificent day.
Thank you.
I'm not even going to touch the button that gets rid of you. What do you think of that?
I'll touch the button. Bye, Barbie.
See you later. Kristyn Burtt, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. We'll find out if he's ever been groped. Chris Egert will join us right after this. It's time to beat the heat. It's Tom Barnard from my friends at Miller Marine and Power Lodge, giving you the keys to a cool lake breeze with clearance pricing on 2023 luxury pontoons, fishing boats, and more. Our dog days of summer won't last, and neither will their inventory. So do both of us a favor and go from floor to shore today with iconic Bennington pontoon and tri-tune packages at doorbuster pricing at Miller Marine in St. Cloud and all Power Lodge locations. Get your first cruise in by sunset, but don't wait on this limited time special. Power Lodge offers competitive financing with no money down. By the way, if you need delivery to your dock, their team of experts has you covered. Discover what thousands of our Minnesota neighbors have and explore our lakes and rivers in your own boat and at elite savings too. If I say it's elite, damn it. Launch into adventure today at Miller Marine and Power Lodge. Just head to millermarine.com and powerlodge.com and snag some throttle therapy for yourself. Financing is available on approved credit. Freight and prep are not included in packages.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
We've been hearing about the new technology offered at Twin Cities Premier Health for the treatment of ED. This is one of those topics that can get uncomfortable to talk about, but the truth is, if new technology can improve your life by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction, why wouldn't we want to talk about it? Look, I've been going there I think I'm on my 6th treatment this week. Things go very well. It takes about 10, 15 minutes, not a big deal at all. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. If, like so many of my listeners, you aren't interested in continuing to take a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection and wipe all the spontaneity out, reach to the Twin Cities Premier Health like I did and right now receive this special offer. A free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800, 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346 for their office. Or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to tell them Tom Barnard sent you. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. And, of course, Chris Egert with us. So I watched this morning. I went for a walk this morning and watched you the whole time. So you inspired me.
You watched from the comfort of your hand?
No, I actually do. I do cycle around my basement. You have to go through.
Oh.
I'd have to show it to you. I went for a 3.5-mile walk in my basement this morning.
Wow.
It was great, though, because I get to watch you, because I got, every time I come and go, I see you. And I can hear you always. I can't see you in parts of the walk, but I can hear you anyway.
I'm with you always, Tom.
You are with me always. There's no question about that. There's no getting around it, ladies and gentlemen.
Like that irritating chlamydia you picked up.
Chlamydia? You are a lot
I'm
like
an STD of newscasters. I just get stuck on you, and you just can't shake me.
Yeah, but chlamydia you can get rid of. So, you're more like herpes.
The herp.
Good to know. I've never had a sexually transmitted disease, so.
I haven't either. You two are the only two men I know that, with you and me, have never had an STD.
Probably because I think you had to have sex.
Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah, that might have something to do with it.
That'll get you.
Something about that, no question about it. But yeah, I did try for about 2 minutes apiece to watch the national news this morning, and it's unwatchable. It's just you got your far right, you got your far left. Everybody talks this loud too, and everybody talks over one another. It's like, Jesus, would you calm down?
That whole shouting thing is. Yeah. And the older I've got, the I'm less interested in that. I remember
more.
Part of it is when you're young and you look like you're 22 years old, like the consult.
Oh, he froze up.
Yeah, froze up.
Oh, look at how he got stuck. Looks like he's eating a hot dog.
Also, what was the last thing he said? What? No.
You guys got me?
You went to say
back.
You went to say consultant, and we only got the first syllable out. So
the consultants are listening. They just zapped me right there when I tried to talk.
They were like,
"There you go.
Shut it down."
Well, I mean, over the years, particularly when I was younger, these consultants would be like, "You gotta really, make it sound urgent," and blah 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 blah. And I don't know. I don't buy that. I don't think people buy that. I think it seems phony.
So basically, on one channel, I got 2 minutes of Biden sucks, and on the other channel, I got 2 minutes of Trump sucks, and it's the same thing every morning, and it's just it's unwatchable. I try every day for about a minute or two, and I turn it off because it's just making money off of other people's misery is all it is.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Now your news, I watch it, and it inspires me. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it was. And thankfully so, I guess. It was a pretty slow news day today, which I'm glad to report. So that's good. I think the biggest thing is everyone's gearing up for this hot because it's going to be like ridiculously hot, not just like annoying hot. I mean, when it gets super hot like that, the roads buckle. I mean, it won't be fun.
I have a question. Doesn't it always get up to 100 degrees for a day or two every summer?
Yeah, they do, but for this particular summer, this will be like one of the hottest stretches. No, it's not anything. At least this week of weather is nothing. It happens. It's just when it does. Listen, we're Minnesotans. That's pushing it for us.
Oh no, there's no question about that. Now these people in Phoenix are getting their ass handed to them, man. That's where the problem is. Holy God.
I was just reading about that. Everyone's pretty surprised that all the electrical and utility infrastructure has held up in the South, given like how relentless the heat has been for the last several weeks.
It's been a long time, and it's just continuing down there. That's the one thing about living in the desert. I'm good. I'll live on. Let's visit the ocean. The desert's nice, but it's like,
I've got family who live in Tucson, and I mean it's so pretty.
Yeah, it is.
Just a beautiful place, but the heat thing, I just can't get past that. I don't know. I also lived in Seattle for 5 years, where you see the sun once every couple weeks. So it's
little rain.
I mean,
oh, he froze up again.
He's just still contemplating that rain.
Yeah.
He's just thinking over what torture it was.
Mm-hmm.
No, now you're back again.
I'm not doing anything, by the way.
No,
I'm not.
Yeah, no, I imagine that, as you were talking about, the Big Electric was like going to show you Chris Egert.
Oh.
Exactly.
I think I'm being censored.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be the greatest if it was the heat and it's only like 72?
Right.
It's sunny and 72, and Chris freezes up every 10 seconds.
Everything's melting.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want particularly people with breathing problems, all the rest of it. It's a little smoky again, isn't it? Or is it hazy, or what is that out there?
That's that smoke.
It is smoke, okay.
It's mainly from the Twin Cities north. I think parts of northern Minnesota are considered in the dangerous category, but Ken was saying like we're close in the Twin Cities area, so that's definitely what that is again today.
Well, the problem, I mean, the reason I even discovered it is usually when I turn down the street, I drive right into the sun every morning at this time, this time of year. And the sun was out, and I didn't even have to put down the little block or put my hat on or anything. The sun was so muted by that smoke, it was unbelievable.
Is there anything left of Canada to burn?
Well, yeah.
There can't be anything left. We've been dealing with this since like April 1st.
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that it's been going on that long. And then you're like, oh, it's so irritating for the United States. I mean, can you imagine living in Canada and having that, go on? And it was happening on both sides of the country there for a while. I assume it still is. It was just for a while that the pattern shifted and some of the smoke was coming from the eastern part of the country, and that's what was blowing over this direction. But now it's stuff that's out west that's blowing this way.
So do you think, I mean, I know I did have either like pneumonia or something there a few weeks ago, but I'm in the middle of halfway through the 4th week of having this, but I think it's now the smoke. It's not got nothing to do with the cold or the pneumonia or whatever the hell it was that I had. I think it's the smoke, probably.
It could very well be. That's why they put out those air quality warnings, because people who, and you may not even really know that you've got a sensitivity to it until something like this happens where it's just unusually high and for an extended amount of time. I mean, that does make sense.
There was a guy, I won't say which store I was going into yesterday, but he came out the door and he was kind of hunched over and he was hobbling. He wasn't really walking, he was hobbling. And so as I approached him, between where he was and I was, there was a trash can. And as I got to the trash can and he arrived at the same time, he pulled out not one but 2 packs of cigarettes and opened them both. I'm like, do you think you should be smoking, pal? I mean, he was huffing and puffing and oh my God. I never see people smoking anymore. Do you ever see people smoke? I don't. Ever.
Yeah, I got somebody close to me that smokes.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I don't see. I like out in the street though. Do you see people smoking?
Not a lot.
Not much.
The New York Times just did a piece on this about 8 months ago because the amount of smokers in New York now has like quadrupled.
Really?
It's very hip with like the young kids in their 20s that they're all smoking again. Now, do they tend to smoke in their 20s and then get rid of it? Yes, that is the one thing they're talking about. Is we all know the dangers of cigarette smoke and how many people have gone away from it. But yeah, it's definitely back. You see it way more than, I mean, at least 10 years ago, I thought it was disappeared. But now in the last like maybe 2-3 years, you
Why
start
would
to,
that happen?
I don't know. It's all cyclical because we kind of forget about how bad it is for you, and then they start on with other things. You know, weed kind of took its place. You know, people start talking about the dangers of marijuana or the dangers of meth, and they go, well, compared to meth, cigarette smoking not bad.
Well, then e-cigs are so approachable. Does that make sense? Like at a young age, I mean, my nanny kiddo, I remember it was like 3 years ago, and he was 15, and he was like, everybody smokes e-cigs because they can just
Why?
Because they're less threatening looking to them.
But they're still horrible for you.
Oh, they're terrible for you. And there's probably a lot we don't even understand about the chemicals that you're taking in, especially when it's like gingerbread flavored as well.
Yeah, there you go.
But like, yeah, it starts you off early. So now imagine you're addicted to nicotine via e-cigs, and then you're out in the world, you don't have an e-cig, you buy a pack of cigarettes, and then that starts. So I'm sure that helped with the kind of growing of cigarettes now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you honestly, when I was a teenager, they used to run commercials that said smoking was very healthy for you, and 3 out of 5 doctors agreed. That was in the commercial.
The Flintstones.
Flintstones were in
Yeah.
the Winston commercials. Yep.
I kept laughing because I gained so much weight when I was pregnant that I was like, if we were back in the day, they would definitely recommend that I smoke a couple packs.
That's true. They would have. Absolutely, they would have. So they lied, basically, about this whole situation. It's all lies. And it's been, now you got THC, what is it, another 7 days, 8 days from today. Weed will be legal in the state of Minnesota. And they're going to have to worry about that because you can have up to 2 pounds. But if you got 2 pounds, you're smoking it.
Yeah.
You're not making your own tabs, right? Why do you want to smoke, even weed? Why do you want to smoke it? Bad idea.
I don't know.
Stop inhaling smoke is not good for you.
I was trying to make weed happen for our household for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Like edibles, just because we don't drink. And so I was like, what'd be like our fun little thing? And I just don't think I'm somebody who's great on marijuana. Like, I don't think that's going to be my jam. I'm too, I think I get too in my head and I just want to be in a room alone. And I don't think that's the social move for me.
What's really weird about that, it's interesting you bring that up because if I take too much of it, the little tabs and all that, it depresses the hell out of me.
Samesies. Like I get.
Oh, you get depressed too?
Well,
'Cause I do.
I think about every interaction I've ever had and all the bad ones and how everybody probably thinks I'm the worst and the time I accidentally cut the line in the bank because I didn't know that was a new line and every and then I just go, everyone hates me. I should probably just stay home. And I'm like, I don't think that's good for me.
Well, I'm going to have to find something else or whatever because I literally wake up in the middle of the night sometimes depressed as hell if I take too much pot to sleep.
Yeah, it's not the move.
Yeah, I've noticed in the last 2 weeks, I don't know if it's just because things are stronger, but man, I can't seem to shake the tiredness throughout the day. I sleep great, but I am super tired throughout the rest of the day.
I get the same problem.
Well, thank God you gave me and Justin a warning about those CBD drinks because they're like 30 milligrams.
I drank half of one and my mind was blown.
You were like, be careful. And I was like, why? I was looking at these cute little innocent drinks. I would have probably halved one with Justin and we both would have been crying somewhere.
Yeah. Real quick, you guys want to hear one of the bumpers from the Flintstones when they had Winston cigarettes on?
Funny.
Oh, these are so funny.
The Flintstones, brought to you by Winston, America's best-selling, best-tasting filter cigarette.
Winston tastes good, like a cigarette should.
That's
funny. Start smoking.
Like cigarettes should.
I love the fact that Fred's feet were the size of skis.
Yeah.
The biggest feet of any
He
living
did have
human.
some big feet.
Yeah.
But you got to run that car. I mean,
yeah,
it's
that's
probably
true.
Yeah, I don't know. My mother and my father both smoked, and like I said, by the time my dad left, but my mother smoked her whole life. I think the last few years they made her stop because she got COPD. I suppose it ended up killing her, I guess. I don't know what she died of, but yeah, there was always somebody smoking around my house when I was a kid, I'll tell you that, man. They were smoking like mad people.
Sure.
Yeah, it's so wild because my mom is obsessed with organic everything and health freak, but when we were younger, you'd catch her on the porch smoking. That was very normal.
I understand. Well, I smoked, I guess, time I was 11 till I was about 20. Then I stopped smoking. I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't think I ever did inhale either. I brought it up through my nose and out of my mouth, so it never made it into my lungs.
I loved smoking.
Did you?
Loved it. Yeah. Oh, there's nothing. And to this day, there's nothing I'll never get the feeling of a smoke break at a job that's a serving job.
Yeah.
And you get 2 minutes to go smoke a cigarette and the relief that gives you of being able to clear your brain for that 2 minutes. It doesn't exist in my world anymore.
Now, does it, if you do inhale cigarettes, it give you a nice buzz or something?
Yeah, kind of. After a while, not really, because you're pretty used to it. But like your first, couple cigarettes, or if you go a long time without having one, like a couple days, you might feel a little bit of a buzz.
Okay.
I don't even know. It's just so. I'm not like advocating to smoke, but cigarette breaks were so nice. And like in college, you'd go down with it, you'd make all your friends that way. Ugh.
Well, let me put it this way. A little advice from Uncle Tommy here. Every one of my friends who smoked into their 20s and 30s is now dead. Every one of them.
They'll do that.
It's true. The ones who did not stop smoking, every one of them died young, which don't smoke. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of cigarettes. Like, remember you used to see, like, the doors to buildings, there were about 50 cigarette butts laying
Yeah.
in front
Or
of the door.
ashtrays out front and all that. But
You don't see that much anymore, do you?
No,
you don't.
If you order a new vehicle, like if you go online, you can customize whatever vehicle you want.
Yeah.
They have smokers packages still.
Really?
Yeah, they still have. You can get vehicles with like the ashtray and it has like the smokeless filter and like it's got the air. Hey, if you're a smoker, we can put in the in-cab air filter to help filter it out and blah blah blah. Oh yeah, no, they still got them.
Who's touched the back of the little cigarette lighter thing? Who's done that?
What do you mean the back?
Like, you take it out, and as a kid, you put your finger in there to touch.
Oh, in the car?
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
You don't want to do it, but who's done it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, no, you could always tell who was like adventurous because they had that ring around their finger because they burned them. Yeah.
Oh, my buddy Bobby Knotts is no longer with us, unfortunately. Now, he died very young, but his older brother told me a story. They were up in Randall, Minnesota at some cafe, and he had done exactly what you just said. He took the cigarette lighter out and stuck his finger in there and burned his finger.
Yeah.
And he's in the restaurant, and he's complaining, it really hurts. My finger really hurts. Oh, my God. It's just nonstop bitching.
Yeah.
And finally, the young woman server, well, she's not a young one. Comparatively, I guess she was in her 40s, but that's still young.
Still young.
She comes over and said, son, what's your name? He goes, Bobby. She said, Bobby, could you do me a favor? He says, what? You know, he's a little kid at this time, 10 years old, something like that. He said, do me a favor. Would you stop complaining about burning your finger? Because my daughter just burned to death last week in a house fire.
God.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes that perspective really punches you in the face, doesn't it?
I will never forget him telling me that story. He was horrified by that story.
Not great.
My daughter just burned to death last week in a house fire. Stop complaining about burning your little finger there.
We just got an email from Victor who says, funny you guys are talking about this today. I'm attempting to quit chewing, ... Again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's cyclical, isn't it?
Yeah. He should try they make some pouches that have coffee grounds in them.
Oh. Yeah.
Those are great because
really?
it still gives you the same mouth
fixation thing. Yeah.
The same sensation, but it's not bad for you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Also, I throw on the patch. I always say then you get the nicotine a different way and then do that. And then also I would chew on a toothbrush in the car a bunch. That was my big thing for a while I was quitting smoking.
You're chewing what?
Like on a toothbrush. Just had it.
Oh, okay.
It was gross. Like it wasn't ideal, but it was like I had like a month where I was just disgusting. I would let myself have like Twizzlers in the car, a toothbrush in the car, I'd floss in the car. Like just to get my hands to do something else than smoke.
Did you ever see a guy smoke a cigarette through the hole in his neck?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Saw that up in Bayfield once.
What? You guys all
They do this too. They do like this. They go.
Yeah.
They
tighten
up their
you gotta
lips.
open it up by doing that.
You guys, you all three have seen it.
Yeah?
I've never seen it.
It's not pleasant.
I've been at a place where I've seen the burn marks of the oxygen mask on a mouth because they smoked while on oxygen.
Yep.
I've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never seen somebody smoke out of their, I can't
neck
think of their,
hole.
yeah, what is that?
Their trach.
Trach, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they smoke through their trach. It's like, what are you, did you learn anything?
Man.
It's unfortunate. So don't smoke. That's the key to this whole discussion is kids, don't smoke.
Yeah, I know. I have an acquaintance of mine who was saying, he's like, I'm really trying hard to quit chewing. I go, what do you chew? And he goes, I chew those Kodiak packets. I was like, the packets? He's like, yeah, I have like 2 a day. I'm really trying hard. I was like, I chewed a tin of Copenhagen a day for a decade. And then one day when my wife was like, we're pregnant, I was like, okay. And I took the Copenhagen, I threw it in the garbage, and I've never had another one since.
So what's a Kodiak pack?
It's like a little pouch.
Okay.
So instead of like taking actual chew, it's like as Chris was talking about the coffee pouches, you just put it so you don't get like tobacco all over your mouth. And they're whatever. They're super light. I mean, it's like smoking like a Virginia Slim. It's not
really just quit like that. You just chucked it and
Absolutely.
never again.
Never again. I was in my deer stand because I went deer hunting because we found out that Cammie was pregnant with Kinley. It was the last weekend, right before Halloween, and then opening deer season was the next weekend. So I went out to my deer stand. I hunted all weekend and told myself, all right, Sunday night when you get out of the deer stand, spit your chew out and be done with it. And I've never had another one since.
That's annoying.
It's you.
How long did it take you to quit smoking?
Like, I probably tried 6 times and finally did. When I went and got the patch, that's when I finally was like, okay, this
I
is
heard
both.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive. The patch is expensive. Like for a 20-year-old, I'm sure it was not as added up with cigarettes pretty quickly, but the formalness of it and slapping that on me and like knowing that, and then buying all my little tricks in the car. Like I had to formally do it. It wasn't like I'm done. Boop. Like it was, I think for me, because I really had to quit drinking at some point, quitting cigarettes was harder in some ways because there wasn't like immediate like, hey, you need to quit drinking. Like this has gotten out of control. It's I just knew that I wanted to feel better, and like the casualness of quitting was hard. Like that was hard because there wasn't holding myself accountable is hard.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a big part of it. That's why I don't think I ever did really inhale, because I just gave them up one day and didn't care less. So I just think I did that nose inhale and it came right up I don't think it ever made it into my lungs.
Yeah.
So I don't think I ever really smoked.
You just wanted to look cool.
How about if I would have gotten like nasal cancer or something? That would have been just wonderful.
Right.
Huh? I suppose that could happen.
Yeah.
Inhaling smoke in your nose, even though you don't take it into your lungs. But yeah, don't smoke. That's the number one thing we're trying to bring to you. Don't smoke cigarettes.
And I will say this about smoking: you never wake up feeling good. I don't care.
Yeah,
even in my 20s, I'd always wake up with like a little bit of like breathing or cough, or like I'd smell. Like you always woke up feeling kind of like shit.
Really? Yeah. See, I never went through that, so I don't think I ever inhaled.
Yeah.
It was fake. I was a fake smoker. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Pally, you got to get back to work.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later. I got a story I really want to tell you guys tomorrow. It involves a Kramarchik's cheddar wurst and the twins.
Ah.
I want to hear it. I'm ready.
Kramarchik, cheddar wurst, and the twins. And your buddy Herbeck. So hopefully we can get time for it tomorrow.
You got 30 more seconds?
Mm-mm.
Damn it.
I'm going to write this down so we don't forget tomorrow.
Right.
The tail. It'll take a little bit.
Thanks, pal.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
Chris Egert, ladies and gentlemen. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Chris Egert brought to you by Josh Arnold. Yeah, I was going to ask him a question about Kramarchik's, because there used to be a car parker there. There's no way he can still be around, because this was 20 years ago and he was about 95 at the time. And he was the crabbiest man ever, but I loved the guy because he was like, that's just who he was.
Yeah.
You know, he parked cars and, what do you want? It's like, really?
At least he's consistent. People that are consistently crabby, I'm always like, that's them. That's what I'm going to walk up to.
Absolutely loved that place, though. Kramarchik's was wonderful. No question about it. We got to take a break here. Be right back in just a couple seconds.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million pillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98, and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM. It's time to beat the heat. This is Tom from my friends at Miller Marine and Power Lodge, giving you the keys to a cool lake breeze with clearance pricing on 2023 luxury pontoons, fishing boats, and more. Our dog days of summer won't last, and neither will their inventory. So do both of us a favor and go from floor to shore today with iconic Bennington pontoons and tri-toon packages at doorbuster pricing at Miller Marine in St. Cloud and all Power Lodge locations. Get your first cruise in by sunset. But don't wait on this limited time special. Power Lodge offers competitive financing with no money down. By the way, if you need delivery to your dock, their team of experts has you covered. Discover what thousands of our Minnesota neighbors have and explore our lakes and rivers in your own boat at Elite Savings. I said Elite Savings, darn it. Launch into adventure today at Miller Marine and Power Lodge. Just head to millermarine.com and powerlodge.com to see for yourself. Financing is available on approved credit. Freight and prep are not included in packages. We've been hearing about the new technology offered at Twin Cities Premier Health for the treatment of ED. This is one of those topics that can get uncomfortable to talk about, but the truth is, if new technology can improve your life by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction, why wouldn't we want to talk about it? Look, I've been going there I think I'm on my 6th treatment this week. Things go very well. It takes about 10, 15 minutes, not a big deal at all. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. If, like so many of my listeners, you aren't interested in continuing to take a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection and wipe all the spontaneity out, reach to the Twin Cities Premier Health like I did and right now receive this special offer. A free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800, 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346 for their office, or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to tell them Tom Barnard sent you. We are back 8:50 now. It's 10 minutes till 9 o'clock here on the Tom Barnard Show. A couple of things. Elon Musk is changing Twitter to X. I couldn't care less. Do you care about that?
No, it will not affect me. I'll probably never call it X.
Yeah, X. I mean, whatever. But he replaced his picture with the X, apparently.
I have trouble calling HBO Max.
Max. Yeah. It is Max.
So I don't know if this is going to go well for me, X.
They got a snazzy new logo and all that stuff, though, over there, because it kind of comes out at you in blue rings.
Ooh. All right, I'm in.
What's on Max now? What would I watch on Max?
Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, yeah, that's a good show.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, it's so good. And this season, because usually they sort of tail off, season 3, season 4, season 5. This one just keeps getting better. It's so good.
And Barry, you watched Barry.
Barry's very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very, very good show. Just started watching Succession. So I got, 4 seasons of that?
Are you finally I'm into this?
Well, we just started watching it, so I'm not really into it yet. Yeah. They're arguing over whether he's going to live or not.
Yeah.
I think it's episode 2 of season 1, I think.
It's good. The characters are good, and you just realize no matter what family you're in, you are cursed with being family. No matter how rich you are, family dynamics still hold true.
I'm not giving anything away here because everybody else has already seen it.
Yeah.
But it's revealed in episode 2 that they're not billionaires like they think they are.
Yeah.
So Dad decided to make a move and didn't tell the family about it. Now they're $3 billion in debt.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of roller coasters with that show.
Are there really?
And I think you're going to find it really interesting,
too.
So
far so good.
Yeah.
It is really, it's interesting. It's very interesting because you're looking at, again, the family of supposed billionaires. You know who's good at is that Kieran Culkin.
He's so talented.
He's really good in that show.
I don't even think he's really acting, though. I feel like he keeps getting roles that are exactly him.
You might be right about that.
Brad Blanks does interviews with him all the time. Like, they have kind of a silly relationship, and he is exactly the character in Succession. Just swarmy.
Yeah, so the last part I saw, I was on episode 2, season 1, and he opens his eye. Brian Cox opens. It's Brian Cox, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Brian Cox. He opens his eyes at the end of the episode, so it's like, well, we're going to see what happens next. But it was good. The first 2 episodes were good, I thought.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Succession, and it's complicated enough to learn something. At the same time, it's not like constantly trying to figure out how the stock market works. You're not like having to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
But you find yourself just kind of laughing because you go, oh my God, you have this idea that these family bajillionaires work differently. But the reality of it is it's all family dynamics and it's all toxic.
It's all about money. Again, money.
Money and like daddy's approval. Oh my God, daddy's approval reigns true in that show.
Yeah, because the first episode was about, they just kind of got together for some, wasn't a holiday or some celebration or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
They all get together every year and they play like a softball game.
That's
in the first episode, and they got the helicopter, and that's when that's when Kieran Culkin kind of reveals who he is throughout the rest of this show, because he treats people who are not rich like dirt.
Oh yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. I don't know. I just didn't have time. I really didn't have time to watch all that television. There's so much good stuff out now.
It really is.
Over the last 5, 6, 7 years, something like that.
Did you try Last of Us? Did you like that one?
I don't. What's that?
That's that fungi zombie one where Pedro Pascal is in it.
Can't watch zombie shows.
Okay.
I'm just not a zombie guy.
No.
That whole thing.
I get that.
Zombies.
And zombies are still reigning high right now. But
absolutely.
Yeah, we are finishing The Last of Us. What's the other thing? We're watching Quarterback, which you're not that into. I respect.
Not my deal.
Did you ever watch Full Swing? Or would you not be interested in that either?
Don't care about that either.
No.
No, most of that stuff. I would say right now, at least to me, watching streaming, it's either really good or really bad. There's not a whole lot in the middle.
I hate watch Just Like That every year, and that's the Sex and the City continuation.
Oh, okay.
It's so rough, you guys. They act like if you're 50, you're dead inside. All you're dealing with is being a widow, crying, like. They literally act like that is old as dirt. And it's hilarious. It's like, what? No.
That's the real world now.
I think
it is. There's no doubt.
But I think that is definitely the mindset that people have like in LA and places where they write stuff like this, where I go, oh my God, we have 50-year-olds walking around here who are slaying it, like are killing it, like are hot, are doing whatever they want, going out, having way more fun than I am.
Yeah, I had to follow like a 23-year-old female comic the other day who was talking about being old in your 40s, and she's like, God, gross. And I got on stage and was like, I better get this out now because I might die in the next minute or two compared to this bitch. My eyes might be going, but I can see you suck.
I know.
She was not good?
She was funny. I was giving her a hard time, and I did please give it up because it's tough to do this job. I was just giving her a hard time, but.
It's just a different perspective.
Yes, absolutely.
It's funny because I work with a bunch of older women, and they are having more sex, more fun, more whatever than I've ever had in my 20s. So I just think it's just a personality thing. Like.
It comes from our school system.
You think so?
And no doubt about it. They're being taught that shit.
What shit?
That anybody older than you is an asshole.
Oh, yeah. When I hear people complain about, like, okay, boomer, it's you do realize that in, 100 months, you will be a boomer. You will be the person who is being made fun of for being old. Like, it all kind of just, turns on itself. So give it some time, and eventually, remember Gen X used to make fun of the greatest generation. Now we look at Gen X like, God, you old bastards.
Yeah.
But how could you make fun of the greatest generation to save the world, for Christ's sake?
Ingrates.
It's just I'm sorry, but the people of my parents' generation saved the world, and it was America that did it. So now old people and America both suck. How?
Yeah.
I
don't follow that.
Absolutely how you're raised, because I can't imagine.
Yeah, maybe, I suppose.
Walking up to somebody and be like, your age determines already if I like you or not, or can interact with you as a human. Like, that's wild to me. Like, I love talking to teenagers. They're hilarious. Yep. I mean, that's just wild to me.
But here's what I understand. I like the people older than me, and I like the people younger than me. I don't give a rat's ass how old you are. You're either a prick or you're not.
Yeah.
That's the part I don't get. I don't judge somebody by how old or young they are. What do I care?
I despise. How old are you, Brittany?
37.
Okay, I despise everyone under 37. They are the worst people on the planet.
We are.
She's the cutoff. Now you're making me sneeze, damn it.
Oh, bless you.
Thinking about all that smoke out there. So you're the cutoff.
I'm the worst.
She's still okay, but younger than her.
It's fine. Everybody else younger sucks.
And everybody knows I'm out there getting that cash, getting that ass.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. Did you watch The Last Dance? Dave wants to know.
What's The Last Dance?
That's the one with Michael Jordan. They did the whole. It was like a 3.
No.
That's a good one.
I don't like watch sports shows. I don't like those.
I'm not a sports person, but I do like when they add the human aspect, and then they talked a lot about just the dynamics. I would say that would be worth watching, but.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that?
Is that a guy sneezing? Oh my God! It sounds like
It might have been.
It sounds like he blew a hole in the side of the studio here. My goodness!
It did sound like somebody sneezed. It's
impressive.
True. It was me.
Bless you.
He recorded it and then played it back.
Exactly.
But in any case, so what was the name of it? How the what?
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance, and it's about Michael Jordan's career.
Yes.
It's very sad that his father got he got murdered, didn't he, on the side of the road?
Yeah.
God.
He pulled over to sleep or something, and somebody killed him.
And I believe it was right around the same time as Bill Cosby's son. It was like they were kind of pretty close to one another in a very similar story.
See, that's why people, you got to go through life appreciating all the wonderful things, because you imagine you're Michael Jordan, everything's perfect and wonderful, and then somebody murders your father.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate the good stuff, man.
It brings you back to basics. I think that's what we were talking about kind of with Succession is like at the end of the day, your family. It's about your family, and like no matter.
I agree.
No matter what you have or don't have, it's like if something happens to your family, I mean, that sure puts you back into the you don't really control much.
I still wonder what my Uncle Augie did to get thrown off a building.
It's a cute name, though.
Augie's a great name.
Yeah.
He was a great guy. You would have really liked him. He's a very handsome, tall guy. He's about 6'3". But he did something.
How old were you when that happened?
13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I adored the guy. I thought he was a great guy.
Did they talk about it at the funeral, like say how he died?
No, but because our family had no money.
Yeah.
Okay. He was 6'3", as I said. His casket was only about maybe 5.5 feet long.
Ugh.
They cut his legs off to put him in the casket.
Why would they just bend his legs?
Why didn't they? But they literally severed his legs at the knee.
Was it open casket?
Oh yeah, but you couldn't see, but like the bottom of his chest.
No, I meant but for getting thrown from a building, you think that would be take open
Oh, it
casket?
was not a good look. I will tell you that because
I'm not trying to make a mockery of your uncle. It's terrible. But
no, I understand.
But oh my God, you think
to
that would take that completely off the table? Absolutely.
Well, I will tell you this: his mother, my grandmother, Minnie.
Yeah.
I don't know. They did a great job trying to bring him back from wherever the hell he was.
Yeah.
But she did notice that one side of his face was not all that even. They did the best they could.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
But my mother had to tell my grandmother, well, Augie slipped in the shower.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah, okay.
I was editing podcasts a bunch for a while, and I edited a podcast with an interview with a mortician.
Oh.
That lady was the most badass person I'd ever heard.
I
She's
bet.
like, yeah, right now we're in the season of drowning, so we're dealing with a lot of waterlog, and it's better than, the season, and summer will hit maggots here soon. And I'm just like, the casualness of this lady was insane. I was like, this lady, we think we are tough. This lady is tough.
We should get one of those, I can't remember the actual title that you have, but there are people that professionally go in and clean up after murders.
Yeah.
What the hell's the name of that? There's a name for it.
Clean. We used to get sponsored by one at KQ.
We did.
Yeah, it was like Scene Clean or something.
Scene Stealers. Come on down and be dazzled. Yeah. There's a whole movie about that where they...
Sunshine Cleaners, right?
What's that?
Sunshine Cleaners? Is that the name of the movie?
I don't think that's the name of it. I believe it had Eva Mendes in it because in the movie, this guy comes, and I think it's Samuel Jackson. This guy shows up to a house and he cleans up a murder, and then he comes back the next day because he forgot something, and this woman's like, "Hi, can I help you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was the guy who was here yesterday to clean up." And she's like, "Clean up what?" And he's like, "The murder scene?" She's like, "There was no murder scene here. What are you talking about?" And then that's where this whole mystery ravels. Yeah, it's pretty good.
There's another movie I was thinking of with Emily Blunt. It's called Sunshine Cleaning. And it was like these two women that are like, if we can do this. Like, we are cleaners. We can get paid 4 times as much if we do crime scenes. And then they take this on because they're like, why not? And it's a pretty good movie.
You used to take body parts home with you?
I know. I think the body parts mostly are gone, and
They're gone. Okay.
I think if you find stuff, you have to like give them a heads up. But it's a lot of like.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
This movie was called Cleaner.
Oh,
with
okay.
Sam Jackson, Ed Harris, Eva Mendes.
I also talked to a cleaning company we know, and they've had to deal with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At that Park Tavern, that party we had. I ended up talking to this guy who is part of a cleaning company, and he was telling me how that a lot of times when that happens, he just doesn't charge people when it's certain circumstances because he's like,
I understand that.
yeah.
You know who he kills it every day is Judd Zulgad. He just kills it, man. Look at that segue.
Into?
Yeah, we're just talking about the things we'd rather not do than this. And I do not want to clean up after a massacre. No, thank you. None for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That would be on my list. Really, almost anything to do with the human body, I'm probably out, though. Dead or alive.
I agree.
Yeah, those poor people that work at Target Field always having to clean up after those massacres. I mean, 81 times a year. My God.
Hey-oh.
Hey, no.
What are you talking about?
I know. I think one
back
Sunday.
on track, damn it.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you know, I did not expect them to win. I stopped watching after the 7th inning. They were down 3-0, and they came storm. Judd, I think it's me. When I watch them, they suck.
Well, you certainly, because I was there. It was what I would describe, I think, very fairly through 8 innings as a dead-ass game, right?
It was terrible.
I mean, it was just awful. They're being shut out. You're like, oh, they're in trouble. And I will give them this. They're not exactly playing world beaters, but at least they're doing what they didn't do in the first half. They're winning games, right? Like, I mean, they lost, 2 or 3 at home to Detroit. So, and Detroit's awful. So, they sweep Oakland. They sweep the White Sox. Those aren't great teams, but it sure as hell beats coming on here and talking to you about why they crap the bed against teams like that.
Well, don't you think that's kind of the goal? That's what I always used to hear from Tom Kelly, is you want to pound the bad teams and play 50-50 with the good teams.
Yes.
That's what you want to do.
He's exactly right. That, and you want to win series. You don't need to sweep them all for sure. But you know what? 2 or 3 is a very comfortable place. So we'll see. But I mean, it is nice to see a resilience, even though it came in the 9th inning yesterday, that, as we talked about, for the first, before the All-Star break, we really didn't see.
No, you're absolutely right. I do have to ask you, and I'm asking everybody this question. Has there been a genetic uptick? Because, Judd, I have never seen arms like baseball players have today. They can stand with their back against center field wall and throw it home on the fly. Like, what the hell?
I think it's a combination of things. But, yes, I agree completely. I mean, when I was a kid, for instance, you did have right fielders. Dave Parker had an absolute cannon. There were guys like that. But it feels like it's a whole lot more now of guys that can make throws. And as we've talked about a bunch of times already, pitchers, it's ridiculous. I mean, Duran is throwing 100. I think he averaged in his inning of work 101.
He averaged 101.
I don't think I saw a pitch below, and I didn't look up for each one, but I don't think I saw a pitch below 100 miles an hour.
There were like 2 guys that could throw over 100 miles an hour back in the day, back in the 70s, 80s, that era. Mm-hmm. I mean, Nolan Ryan could throw 104, but who else?
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredibly short list.
Yeah,
and I mean, I guess once in a while guys would touch that, but that's the thing is they would touch it. Now it's, a guy like Duran comes in and he is consistently, if he wants to, he can throw every pitch over 100 miles per hour if he elected to, which is absolutely ridiculous. But it's fun to watch.
Yeah, well, there's no question about it. And you already pointed out that the Twins were losing to bad teams like Detroit. Something happened. Would you give some of the credit to Rocco for the uptick? I know they haven't been playing great teams, but they were losing to bad teams before.
Yeah. Well, I would give them a bit of credit as a whole, and I mean, Rocco would get some for the fact that they have made some changes. I think they're 8-2 since the All-Star break. I think in 3 or 4 of the games, they have actually done something that I think was very un-Rocco-like. They've stacked at times. Now, they didn't do this on Sunday. 3 left-handed bats consecutively. Julian hits 2. Kirilov, who I absolutely love, hits 3. And Kepler, who has picked it up, hits 4. And those guys went a combined 0 for 11 on Saturday. But before that time, that combination was absolutely fantastic. Did you by chance see the highlight, since you tuned out? Did you see the highlight of Kirilov's hit that tied the score at 3?
Yes. Yep, I did see the replay.
What an unbelievable job of hitting that was. You know, he wasn't swinging for the fences. He knew exactly what he had to do, which was score the guy, right? So instead of these, I'm going to try and end the game here, putting on these massive swings, I tweeted this. He literally carooed it.
Yeah, very good. Yep.
He got his feet going, and he literally just waited on the pitch. And as it came, and he was already starting to sort of run like Rodney would occasionally do, and he just waited on the pitch, waited until it traveled, and then cue balled it to left for a double. It was, that type of thing now I appreciate so much because so few guys care about that. I thought that was fantastic.
No, I couldn't agree more. There's no question about that. He's special. Kirilov is special. There's no doubt about that. And I know they have not been beating good teams, but they were losing to bad teams before, so something happened during that break, and I hope it continues.
Well, and they've started to hit now. I did the math. They were averaging, I think pre-All-Star break, if just off the top of my head, I think they were averaging 4.6 runs per game in 91 games. Since they've come back, I think they're more like 5.82, which with this pitching, makes the difference because the pitching, again, holds up. The pitching's good.
Yes.
That's the shame of the first half was they were wasting all of this good starting pitching and pitching in general because they couldn't score. And, it wasn't very pleasing to watch for the first 8 innings on Sunday, but at least they came back with 3 to tie it, and at least they won. So there's something to be said for doing what the 2019 team did all the time, which is show a bit of resilience. And it feels like they're starting to get there. Now, the question is that they've got Seattle in for 3 now. I'm curious when they do get through this slate of games against not so good teams, when you take on a good team, how do you fare? But this at least gives you optimism. And we were so, pissed off at the All-Star break. That's no fun.
Well, that's exactly right. The All-Star break was the low point of the season, for God's sake. So, what'd you say? There are 6-2 in the last 8 games. Is that right?
They're since the All-Star break, they're 8-2. They lost
8-2, okay.
They split a 4-gamer at Seattle. They swept Oakland, and then they just swept the White Sox, and actually came back and rallied to win Saturday and Sunday, which is nice to see.
That's a good sign when they're rallying late in the game to come back and end up winning the game. That's a huge move. You're right. That's why I love baseball. I just love baseball for this very reason.
Tom's back.
Oh, God, it's painful.
They got you. They're roping you back in just when you think it's safe to give up on them completely. They're roping you back in.
Who have they got next?
They've got Seattle for 3.
All right, that's at home, though, right?
Yes, yep.
So that's good. That'll work.
For 3, which is a team that is very similar to them. Yes. So Seattle's not a great team, but they're certainly a step up from the A's and White Sox.
Yes.
Then they're off on Thursday, and then they go to an absolutely putrid Kansas City team for 3. I don't think so. If I'm not mistaken here, aside from Seattle, I don't think they play a team above 500 again until like August 4th.
Really?
So they can create the distance now. Just in the division. They can create a gap, which they should do.
Are they up 3 now?
Yes. Cleveland lost.
So Cleveland lost, so they're up 3 right. Yeah, if they could build a 5, 6, 7 game lead over the next couple of weeks, that'd be great.
Well, and if they continue to play the way they're playing right now against the competition they're facing, there's no reason why they shouldn't.
Right. I mean, if they're up 7 games on August 15th, there's only, 6 weeks left in the season. So they'd be in pretty damn good shape if they could get to 7 games by the middle of August. That'd be great.
As bad as the division is, I want to feel, and I didn't at the All-Star break. I guess I'm coming around a little bit more now because of the wins, but I just want to feel like they deserve to win it, Like that pathetic, when you are a game under 500 through 91 games, you don't deserve a damn thing.
I agree.
Now they're winning, and yes, they're doing it against not great teams, but at least they're doing it. And so when the season ends, if they're in first place, I don't want to be absolutely embarrassed. And if you are at 500 or below, that is absolute embarrassment for a division champion.
No, you're right. So good. I mean, I feel much better about it. And the only reason I did walk away from the game yesterday is because the game went, what did it end up going, like 10, 12 innings, something like that?
12
innings.
12 innings. Yeah, it did go 12 innings. So, they were down 3-0 when I walked away. I think that was in the ninth. They came obviously storming back in the ninth inning.
Is this
correct?
the key? Yes, they scored 3 in the ninth. The White Sox scored 1, I think, at the top of the 10th. They came back and scored a run in the bottom of the 10th, and then they didn't score. Neither team scored in the 11th. But have we found the magic formula, which is you start to watch the game, and if they fall behind, you turn the game off?
Maybe.
You pick up the remote, you turn the damn game off, and then they're going to come back and win?
Indeed. One thing I do have to mention, how many games a year does Roy Smalley do?
Not enough now.
No, he doesn't do enough, though. I agree.
He used to do more. It feels like they're splitting it out a little bit more with
Glenn Perkins.
Perkins more in the mix, and I actually like Perk.
Yeah, I do too.
But it feels like Roy, and it might. I don't know if it's because Roy is being asked to cut back, or because of his job, because he certainly has a good job in the financial community. So whenever I hear Roy, though, he meets the bar of he teaches me something.
Yeah, there's no question. That's exactly why I brought him up. I love listening to Roy talk baseball because I learn things from Roy.
Yes. And when your uncle was Gene Mock, I don't think that you could help but teach about baseball.
Right. Gene Mock was his uncle. I forgot that.
Yep, Gene Mock.
God.
Played for Gene here, and Gene Mock was a baseball genius.
He was.
But yeah, Roy is good. I'd love to see Roy do more. I just think he doesn't talk too much, but he talks just enough to teach you, which I really, really like.
No question about it. Are you shocked that Gene Mock didn't win the World Series with the Twins?
With the Twins, no, but period, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 64 Phillies remains one of the greatest choke jobs of all time.
Yeah, absolutely, no question. That's really too bad he never did win a World Series, did he?
No. He had the Angels in that 86, Tom, against Boston when Donnie Moore gave up the home run to, was it Henderson? And then tragically, years after that, Moore killed himself, which is one of the sad stories of all time. But Mock never won a World Series, and the 64 thing haunted him, I think, to his dying day, because they were up by so much late. And back in the days of just if you won the National League pennant, you went to the World Series. So that was really, really too bad.
We do have to take a quick break. You can stick around for about another 20 minutes, something like that.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Exactly right.
Magnificent. We'll be right back right after this break. So if you've been following my progress at mmfatloss.com, I've lost right at 28 pounds now. You can too with the mnfatloss.com summer special, $200 off now through July 30th. I cannot recommend this program any higher. Of course, any fat loss program is going to take some effort, but honestly, with mnfatloss.com, it says mnfatloss.coms, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be comes. We're going to correct that. Secret to fat loss, okay? This program was way easier than I expected. I am back at it, the weight loss phase. I want to lose about another 24, 25 pounds, somewhere in there, which would make sense to me. You'll absolutely be able to lose weight like I've done and save $200 with their summer special. $200 off now through July 30th. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, just like I'm doing, it's about a pound of fat every day, as a matter of fact. No exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you.
This is Bob Sansevere, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
Hi, this is Tom Barnard. My friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales at their Albertville location just off Interstate 94 would like to extend a special offer going on now through the end of July. It's for all our Tom Barnard Morning Show listeners. When you visit their Albertville location, mention that you heard me, Tommy B., I'll tell you about this July-only savings opportunity on travel trailers and pickup campers. Now, you must be a qualified buyer, but here's the really good news. Receive up to $5,000 off the advertised price on all their new in-stock inventory. As always, terms and conditions do apply. Brands include Rockwood by Forest River, Arctic Fox by Northwood Manufacturing, Cirrus by New Camp, and more. Now is a real good time to buy and take your passion on the road with Niemeyer Trailer Sales. You can't just sit around. See my guys and gals at Niemeyer's in Albertville or peruse their current inventory at Niemeyers.com. That's Niemeyers.com. Niemeyers.com. The up to the $5,000 off sales event ends July 31st. There's plenty of thoughts that come into your head when you think the name Killebrew. Of course, there's the Minnesota baseball legend, Harmon, who was responsible for many a favorite memory at the old Met Stadium in Bloomington, and many a baseball that ended up in the stands and in the gloves of adoring fans from his home runs. There's Killebrew Drive, the legendary road that connects Highway 77 to the Mall of America, and a day of shopping you'll never forget. My current thoughts for the name Killebrew is fun floats in our kitchen with my kids and grandkids, a cool, refreshing break in between innings at Target or CHS Field. Or maybe a perfect sunset paired with a sweet, frothy beverage after fishing or on your favorite walleye lake. Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Grab a six-pack at a grocery or convenience store near you. I'm Tom Barnard. This spring and summer, enjoy the one Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Gluten and caffeine-free with a generous portion of delicious thrown in. Killebrew, where memories are created and legends are made. We are back, Judd Zulgad in today for Phil. How much time does that boy take off? My God, nonstop.
So here's his tactical mistake. He during the pandemic decided to move to Seattle with his wife, right? And because he could still do with technology the show there, so that was no problem. But his mistake was he made a good enough friend, or they did, that he had to go back for their wedding and take Thursday, Friday, and Monday off. I'm not sure about you, but if I move to a different state, I'm not making any friends where I feel obligated to go back.
I agree.
Once I've moved back home, I'm like, you know what? Here's $20. Enjoy the honeymoon. Good luck to you. But I'm not going back to watch you get married. It's just that simple. I just wouldn't do it.
It's kind of hilarious you bring that up because I don't go to weddings or funerals. I don't do either one of them. If I really like you, I'll show up at the church, but I'm not going to the reception. And I think that's because I was in a band for the whole time I was a teenager and all that, so we played a lot of weddings. And I just got sick of them.
I don't want to brag, but you went to both of mine.
Both of your weddings.
Both my wedding and reception. But they were kind of combined. It was a pretty casual event.
Yeah, they were pretty combined. That's true.
So it was hard to get out. I mean, it was literally in a gym at Gigi's Playhouse, so it was whatever.
Indeed.
But
it's true.
You hung out?
Well, my niece is getting married, I think, in October.
Where?
In Red Wing.
Oh, fun.
So we'll go to that.
Gorgeous.
And that's what I told him. I'll show up for the reception, but for the wedding, but I'm not going to the reception.
St. James? For the reception?
I love the St. James. That's where they get married, at the St. James.
Oh, the St. James is awesome.
Love that place. I love Red Wing, and I love the St. James and Barn Bluff and all of it.
Catherine's a dancer. Does she just stay back with Alex?
Yeah, Alex and she go to it. Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
I could see that. They're very fun at weddings.
And then funerals I can't do.
Yeah, I
I
feel
have been
that.
to a funeral, and I can't even tell you the last time I went to a funeral.
If I die before you, will you go to mine?
No way.
Please, come on.
No.
Please.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll come if I end up hating you. Then I'll come.
All right. I can make that happen.
I'll work out in the
I
end.
can work on that.
I get too emotional at that stuff. I can't handle it. I just can't.
You have a good chance of me not dying before you. So it's like a promise you can make and then like hope for the best.
Nope, you're out of the mix.
Fine.
Forget it.
So can I say this? I grew up Catholic.
Me too.
I've been to a ton of funerals. In fact, I used to get called in as an altar boy to work random funerals of people at St. Teresa and Deephaven that I didn't even know when I was in grade school.
Mm-hmm.
But in my older age, I think funerals are weird.
I do too.
I think they're weird. First of all, cremate me.
Yeah, pretty much everybody now, right?
Yeah, but second of all, I'm dead. Like, you don't need to gather to remember me. Unless it was a big deal to the person who died.
Yep.
I think cremation, a couple of nice words. I mean, if you want to do a reception and have some drinks, I guess. But I think the whole thing of going through a mass to celebrate a life of a person who's not there.
Yep.
I mean,
it's sort of weird.
But sometimes a funeral, obviously the funeral isn't for the person who died, especially if people die in circumstances where the family needs that kind of support, that pat on the back. Like sometimes it's for the family.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And that's fine. I'm just saying that I don't think it's like commonplace accepted that there's always going to be one, it feels like.
Yeah.
And like if the family needs that, or God forbid your child dies or something. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about if you've had a good life and pass away at 90 or something.
Judd, you're so practical. I could see your wife just being like, "We're gonna go to lunch, and that's it. That's our big event we're doing for Judd."
I told her I want some ashes on the warning track at Target Field.
There you go.
I'd love to get inside Wrigley just to get a few there too. I mean, come on.
Love Wrigley Field.
Nope.
Yeah, but it's pretty simple. It's just weird because as a Catholic growing up, you become accustomed to things that you think are just normal, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody has this, everybody has that, and then you sort of get away from it a little bit, and you're like, I don't know all that's necessary.
I have a feeling my husband's gonna want me to get him on all the courses that he couldn't get on, so I'm gonna have to
love this.
Yeah, I'll have to start dating somebody at Bear Path. Every exclusive course he can't get on, he's going to want to, at some point, have his ashes spread. I know he's going to give me a chore.
Well, luckily for you, when he passes, you will upgrade to a guy who can play all those courses, who will get you on.
And that's really his real dream, I'm sure, for me.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, are you telling me that your good friend Tom, Brittany, can't get your husband on Bear Path?
We're working on it.
Well, it's closed right now. They're redoing it.
This is true.
Right.
So Tom's been dropping, what was your friend who lives there?
My friend who lived there?
Or a friend who, as a member there.
Yeah, you mean the general manager?
Yeah, who's really lovely.
Former twin. There's a great picture of him upside down during the 91 World Series.
Yeah.
Greg Olson, right?
Greg Olson. That's exactly a great guy. Really good guy. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Greg's general manager. Well, at least he was. I assume he still is. But, if he wants to go to Bear Path when they reopen it, I will take him to Bear Path. No problem.
Yeah, they tore those courses up. It's actually been really affecting me, Judd, because one of my biggest hobbies is finding golf balls around Bear Path.
Oh, sure.
And so I've been personally affected by Bear Path being torn up.
Do you sell them, or what do you do once you find them?
Oh, no. I just like collecting them. I have 3-ball days. Sometimes if I do a really long walk, I can sometimes, and I know which ones are nice. I just give them to my husband or the neighbors. I don't really care about them, but it's just, because I walk and run so much, it's become my weird hobby where people will ask, how many did you get today?
One of my favorite things about Bear Path, I will never forget, I used to play there a lot with Johnny Castino, former twin, once in a while with Kent Herbeck. But we went out there for Halloween. There was a Halloween fest, which means the golf course is going to close any minute now because it's at the end of October.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we're out there for Halloween, and I played a round of golf with Kent Herbeck wearing a glowing halo as his Halloween costume.
That's cute.
That big noggin with a halo on it was something to see, I'll tell you that.
That's very cute.
God, he's fun to play golf with, though. Those guys, Castino, honest to God, you get on the first tee, and if everybody doesn't hit it right down the middle in a long, long way, he'll go, come on, boys, let's get our game together. It's like, we just teed off. Settle down, Johnny. We're okay.
I love group mentality, people. I love it so much. I would be so eating that up. Come on, let's do this.
You'd love Casino. Next time Casino's in town, we should all get together and have dinner.
That'd be super fun.
What a great guy.
My favorite twin as a kid was Smalley and Castino.
Oh, yeah. Smalley's a great guy. And his kids are even better than he is, by the way.
So Castino was on that 79 team that was terrible.
Yes.
Co-rookie of the year with Alfredo Griffin of Toronto.
Yeah.
And my God, did he have a great glove.
He did indeed, Johnny Castino. His heart was in it the whole time, I'll tell you that. He wanted to win every damn game he played in. That's just how Johnny's always been.
His back crapped out. That was the sad thing, because he would have been, I think he would have been the second baseman, because if you recall, they moved him to second base. I think he would have been the second baseman on the 87 World Series team, Tom.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think you're 100% right
out.
about that. I do have a wonderful story because one of them's dead and Johnny lives in Orlando now, so I can talk about this. So I'm really good friends with this one guy named Nick, who was he shared a backyard fence with Castino. Okay, so Nick was my good friend, and I go over to Castino's house one day. I go, oh my God, my buddy lives. He goes, what buddy? I said, Nick. He lives. Those two hated one another.
Did they? With the fence and everything? I love that.
I will never forget that. They hated one another.
What was their main fight? What was the thing that they were so?
I think Nick got really touchy because Castino's kids could be loud playing games in the backyard, so Nick didn't like that. And Nick should have just calmed down. It would have been just fine.
I love when I find out we've got neighborhood beef going on, who's against who and all that stuff.
You guys would have loved Nick Cook. He was a great guy.
So it cracks me up because it's obviously there's a lot more in common you probably have than you don't with your neighbors.
I'll tell you, both of them were really, really good friends of mine.
I
So,
bet.
I can't say, I can understand why you wouldn't like him. They were great guys, both of them.
I bet they're very similar. A lot of times that's usually what happens when there's this huge feud. It's they're both weirdly stubborn over something very specific.
That was wonderful. I haven't seen Johnny C in a long time. I got to call Johnny C. I haven't seen him in a long, long time now. Great guy. Moved to Orlando, like I said, back in the day. So what the hell?
I think he went to Rollins College down there, right?
Absolutely.
In Orlando?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, playing golf with him was fun, man. God, he's just so into it. His heart and soul were in every round.
What do you prefer, Tom? Somebody not in their heads, totally not in the game, that they'll talk during your backswing, play music?
None of that.
Or do you like it where they're really strict only on the game? What side of the spectrum would you prefer?
I have a huge problem because Andy Fisher died. He was my best friend my whole life, and then my second best friend was Kendall Norberg.
Yeah.
So he's now my best friend and the living friend in the world, right?
He got upgraded.
The problem, yes, he got upgraded, exactly. But the problem with Kendall is the people he plays with, like Kevin. I'm going to play with him on Sunday, as a matter of fact. They play music during the round, and I hate that.
I don't love that.
I don't like the music being played on the golf course. It's
I think you're onto something. I get really annoyed when people decide what music I will be listening to, so loud. I don't mind if you can hear it within 5 feet of your little cart or whatever. But when we're playing music so loud that you've decided I'm gonna love this song. Don't do that. That's too loud.
I'm not kidding you. I played a lot of golf over the years with Rocco Mediate.
Yeah.
It's not only playing music, it's walk this way. It's Jesus, could you turn it down a little? Just back her off a little. But God, I haven't seen Rocco in years now.
Rudy, you play a lot. Do you play music when you go out?
Never.
I couldn't see you doing that.
I hate it. And here's the thing. Everybody's music sucks.
I know.
It sucks.
It does.
I don't want to try in the middle of my backswing. I don't want to hear Florida Georgia Line. Your music sucks.
Everyone's music sucks.
It's shit music. Turn it off. No one wants to hear it. You suck.
It's so true. Unless you specifically pick that song, it sucks. That's not the vibe you're going for.
Yeah.
It's true.
When did this start?
Oh, it's been 15 years now, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't play music on all the yelling and the screaming and that never used to happen on a golf course.
Is it allowed? Is it allowed to play
Really?
music?
Oh, I don't. They do allow it, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
But you still have to do like the full collar. You still have to do like there's all these rules and etiquette.
I play pantsless, but
That's your business, sir.
yeah.
Full collar, no pants.
Yeah, full collar, but no pants.
I love that
With shoes or
answer.
without?
I play pantsless. He says to me.
Just play pantsless.
That's funny.
No, I don't like that at all. It's a golf course. Stop playing music and screaming and yelling and cheering, and it's golf.
Yeah.
Be a gentle person. How about that?
Yeah.
Right?
I just think, I don't even like it at public beaches when you play your music so loud.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I get
sure,
it.
yeah.
You want to
Yep.
play music in your little circle, fine. But, like, I shouldn't have to listen to Calypso or whatever for the 20 minutes that I'm throwing, the ball for the dogs. Like, this is not I don't want to hear this. I'm sorry.
It would be the greatest if they did that back in the old days, and all the immigrants, like from Poland, would play Polish hits on the golf course.
Right? It's just...
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. That'd be just great. Yeah, don't play music on a golf course. I don't know if they're going to do it on
fights
Sunday.
back in the day.
Oh, absolutely it would.
I mean, you'd get some fights off that.
Yep.
That's why I'm surprised.
I don't care for it, I'll tell you that. I don't know if they'll do it or not on Sunday, but we'll be fine.
Isn't that why you go out to the golf course
To get away from
to
it.
get away from all
Yep.
that? I don't
Right.
want my phone. I don't want music.
Yep.
I don't want people. I just want to enjoy and drink a beer and have a terrible round of golf with the guys, and that's why I'm there.
Terrible round, damn it. That's all we know.
Justin was real revved up because he got 39 on the front 9 and then
Oh, that's good.
pooped the bed on the back 9.
That happens, but 39's damn good.
Oh, he brought it up quite a bit. And he's going to be really happy that I brought it up on here. So, yeah.
Walk off.
Yeah,
At
he
that point,
shoulda.
Just walk away after 9.
He
Just
should have.
walk away, Justin.
Yeah.
I'm playing with Catherine tomorrow. Catherine and I are playing a round of golf tomorrow after the show.
Word on the street is Catherine's pretty good.
Oh, Catherine would be phenomenal if she gave a rat's ass.
Yeah.
She's very long and lean, pretty strong.
Yeah.
Oh, if she cared, she'd be really good.
Yeah. My mom tries to sell me on golf every 2 weeks and just convinces me. She goes, but you can get a whole new set of outfits, which it's almost got me.
Well, you're long, you're tall, so you probably would be able to hit the ball some distance.
I still need that physical aspect in a sport, like that running, that whatever. Like I'm still very into tennis. Like I
Hitting
like
people.
Yeah, hitting people would be great. I don't think I can in tennis, but like I still have
Checking in
trouble.
golf.
Yeah, why don't you find the guys that are playing music and hit them?
Yeah, now you're talking. Perfect.
I'm on it.
You know, one thing that it only took me about 35 years to learn, don't swing like you're hitting a baseball. Because when you swing to hit a baseball, you swing as hard as you possibly can. You do that in golf, you're never going to be any good. Swinging really hard is just not a good idea in golf. It's all timing.
Yeah, it's almost as if your body is just super limp.
Yeah,
There's just nothing to it.
yeah,
You-
absolutely.
You don't feel anything. Like when that club makes contact with the ball, it should feel like a feather just hit your arm. Like there's nothing to it.
No, you're right.
And it takes such a long time to be able to understand that concept.
Well, it's only been like 36 years, and I'm almost there.
Yeah. When I first started golfing, it was my driver, my 7-iron, and my pitching wedge all went the same distance.
Really?
I couldn't figure it out.
So like 130 yards.
That was about that. Didn't matter
Yep.
what club I had. It was always about 130 yards. Yeah.
Swinging too fast.
Yep. And now that I've had a few lessons and I worked with this kid named Blake, he was from Eden Prairie. He's young. He's 22. He's a hell of a golfer. He was the guy who settled me down and went, here's how you
Great.
here's
That's
how you
nice.
start using your clubs correctly.
That is wonderful. And Catherine's just a natural. She has a nice, really high and long swing, but not really slow, but really good tempo.
Mm-hmm.
She gets it. I don't know where she learned that from, but she gets it, which is very cool. And of course, when I lose to her, it's great. It's
Fine. You know where I kill? My husband's a great golfer, but I kill in mini golf. Like,
oh yeah,
Can Wonderland. Ooh-wee. I've
With
never
your
lost.
putter.
I've never lost to my husband. He gets distracted really easily, and I thrive in chaos. So
Do not bring that up to Gelfand ever.
what?
Mini golf.
Is he not a big
Lily
fan?
putt.
No.
He used to love lily putt until his baby boy was celebrating making a hole in one and hit him in the face with his putter.
Well, wait, I feel Brittany has to ask about this now.
I will on Thursday. I have a special. Yeah, I can get away with asking Gulf fan anything, so I'll
Lily
ask him.
putt was one of my favorite ones. the one off 7 and 101, Tom?
7 and 101, the Lily Putt,
Oh,
right
yeah, I used
there.
to go there all the time as a kid.
Love it.
What city is that?
Is it
Minnetonka.
Minnetonka?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Minnetonka,
It's that
yeah.
area. Okay, yeah,
Minnetonka.
now I can see it. Yep.
There's a bank there now.
Yeah.
Yes, right. There's a bank there now where that used to be. And
There used to be, Tom, if you recall, right by there in the parking lot of what was 7 High, there used to be, I think it was a place called Snuffy's Drive Up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deal.
Yeah.
Love Snuffy's.
Yeah,
My mom would take me there. Thrill of the week right there.
Well, you got to go, man.
Yeah.
This is not fair.
Judd, you have to leave. You can't reminisce. We don't want to get you in trouble.
All right. Well, I appreciate that.
I
I will
hate this.
wait. I'll talk to you again tomorrow because Phil's taking the past 2 days off too. So
Oh, my God.
I'm on the schedule for tomorrow.
I'm
so.
special. I'm
I think
Phil.
Phil's back on Friday. I don't know. Like I said, don't make friends, so you have to go to their wedding in different states.
Works
That's
for
all I
me.
got for you.
Thanks, Judd. Great
All right,
job,
everybody.
Pally. Judd Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen. SKOR North. We have Joe from Louisville on the horn. All I ever do is carry you on every subject, Joe. That's all I know.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Yeah, no, you don't. I will tell you, though, I still want it. I've never heard from you that you actually believed it when you asked me to come to your house, and I actually did to meet your family. You never thought I'd really come, did you?
No.
See?
But then again, I never thought you'd get moths either.
Well, yeah, but I came coming from, at the time, I believe I came from Golden Valley over to that area. Yeah, it's quite a distance, first of all.
Yeah.
But that was a fun day.
Oh, they also redid all that and just forgot to update everybody's GPS.
But other than that. So what's happening with you and golf, Pally?
Y'all should come down to Louisville next May and check out the PGA Tour. They're playing Valhalla.
Oh, they're playing Valhalla. That's a great golf course. That's a wonderful golf course.
Yep. And if you want to go the entire week, you can spend anywhere between $3,000 and $5,500.
Well, that's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Pretty much free.
Not a problem at all. That's a little spendy. There's no doubt about that. No, that's...
Or you can go anywhere from $150 to $1,000 for daily tickets.
Unbelievable. So that's when next year?
That's next May.
Next May, okay.
Starts May 13th and goes to 19th.
God, that's funny.
That whole week.
Every time, yeah, it's so funny to see your name on the docket because just yesterday, a friend called me and he had never heard. You ever heard that song "King of the World"? It's about Muhammad Ali.
Probably, I just don't remember it.
Well, you should remember it because it's me doing it. You didn't know that? Yeah, there's a song called "King of the World." It's by Ricky Peterson. You know the Peterson family, great people. Ricky's one of the great guys in the world. But yeah, we did a song together called "King of the World" Part 1 and Part 2, and they heard it on, I don't know where, they heard it on the radio somewhere. And they asked me about that, have I ever heard it? And I said, yeah, actually, that's me doing it. So I have heard it.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
But that was fun.
I'll have to get over to the Muhammad Ali Museum and see if they have it in there.
They should put it. And, that breaks my heart that Muhammad Ali is no longer with us. I loved Muhammad Ali. My God, he was my favorite athlete of all time.
That funeral was insane for him.
I bet.
Went right past my old apartment, and the cars just would not stop.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's absolutely. Oh, it's particularly in Louisville. Is it true that he threw his gold medal into the river in Louisville?
That's what the rumor is. I don't know if there's any truth to it.
There is a rumor that he took his gold medal he won in the Olympics and threw it in the river in Louisville because of the way black people were being treated at the time. Yeah, I do remember that. Long time ago. He was my hero, though, because he was really good at what he did. He had a certain urban cockiness that I loved. I loved that about him.
Right.
Wasn't
going to play the white man's game.
He did not want to do that, and I admired him for that. I thought it was terrific. So what else is happening, Pally?
Not a lot.
All right. Well, you wanted to talk golf. Did you talk? Yeah, that's right. But you're doing well with that, right?
Yes and no. I'm not doing too good today.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I might have to go back and deal with the hospital again.
Well, let me know. Let me know what the situation is. So keep me updated on that, okay?
Roger.
All right, Pally. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, Joe, before you take off, man, I'm I'd love to meet you because you call the show all the time. I'm actually going to be in Louisville at the Comedy Club of Louisville on September 22nd and 23rd for 4 shows. So if you get a chance, man, come out. Oh, right on. Please come out. I'd love to get you on the guest list and come and hang, man. You're such a supporter of the show. It'd be fun to get some pictures.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. So fun talking to you.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it was way back in the old days. Man, I don't know how many years ago, 10 years ago or somebody called me and said, I know you'll never do this, but my mom and dad want to meet you. Would you come to my house? I said, sure. He goes, yeah, okay, whatever. But I actually did. I showed up at his house. Could not have been nicer people.
That's
very nice people.
That's crazy and very cool.
Well, I never understood why people would say, yeah, I'll do it, and then they don't show up. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was, when I was doing afternoons at 93X, I used to throw a big...
Where?
At 93X.
What's that?
One of those tin cans that are over on the other side of
Oh,
town.
okay.
Yeah.
Now I know what you're talking about.
And we would throw a big 4th of July party at my first house in Richfield. And I had, put out an event for it. And I accidentally put it as public and not as private.
No way.
No.
And while we're like in the middle of the event, we got a bunch of people, like my family's there, we got the neighbors, and all of a sudden these people started showing up that I have never met. And I'm like, who are these people? And then somebody came over and they're like, hey, by the way, I just figured it out. So all these people, we don't know who they are. It's because your Facebook event is public and not private. I bet we had about 30 listeners show up.
Was it a blast?
It was the best. They all hung out and like helped clean up, and we had a stage out there with a band, and they helped like break down the stage, and they stuck around till like 1 a.m. drinking beers by the fire. It was great. Like what a happy little accident.
I've hung a little hanging out with your family and friends, and they seem like the type that would be like, all right, if you bring brats at least, did somebody bring enough food? Like, let's do this. Game on. I love that.
Well, since it's with 93X, were a lot of tit and dick jokes?
Lots.
That's what
that was all it was, really.
Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, more dick than tit, because, we were kind of compensating.
Yeah.
Here's Godsmack. Ding, 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 ding.
We're so straight.
Yeah.
We're straight as straighterton straight.
I have found that in general that listeners to the show back in the day, and same with your situation, that if they did show up, they were always very, very nice.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I was up in Brainerd on Saturday night. I had a show up there.
Brainerd.
And there was a guy. His name is Nick. I had just met him. His girlfriend was performing on the show. And we started chatting. He's like, oh, do you have a full-time job outside of being a comic? I said, yeah, I'm on a podcast with Tom Barnard. And he goes, son of a bitch, 20 years ago, I went to Vegas with the show. And
oh, God, yeah.
Started telling all the old stories about the theater and the people and the chaos and how much fun it was. Yeah, it was a good time.
That's awesome.
We literally had 5,500 people show up for every show. You could not walk through the casino in Vegas without security because you'd never get to your room.
Sure.
I mean, it was in a good way. Nobody's being a prick, but you just couldn't get through the crowd unless you did. They were amazing people.
So fun. It's just nice. We just had a blast.
It was the greatest.
Yeah.
What if we'll ever get to the point we can go to Vegas with this show?
Probably not. And not because we couldn't, but I just don't see us. I don't know. I think Vegas is great. I love Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
We have other mountains to conquer.
Like what?
I mean, even just like around here. We got to do a live show around here for sure.
Well, we're doing a live show for an hour at the fair.
This is true. This is our first.
I mean, you are.
You are with Don Shelby. I will literally
know,
be like taking pictures. I'm going to just be having fun.
Don, where are we going to be again? What stage?
So you'll be on the main, like the grand stage, which is kind of right at the, that big ramp that goes up to the grandstand?
Yeah.
So it's kind of right next to, it's like right in the center of the fair. It's right next to the Channel 5 booth.
Oh, it's right there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I can tell Shelby to be there, and then I'll just call him from the house.
Shut
It'll be
up.
perfect.
You're going.
Be
You're
perfect.
going, and people are going to come meet you and say hi. You're going. I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go to the Hubbard bus. It'll be fantastic. You'll be out. You'll be done. It'll be lovely.
The last time I was at the Minnesota State Fair, I was there when John Hines retired.
Yeah.
He did his last show that year from the fair. I don't know if it was his last show ever, but it was last show from the fair. And just sitting there watching all. I think Donna Valentine, he was working with her then.
Oh, really?
Is that right?
Yeah, she worked with Don Hines for sure.
I think
we
it's
just talked about this.
Yeah, I literally think that she was there, but I never got to meet her. I don't know why, but it was one of those deals. But.
She said she'd come on the show. We got to get her on.
What do you mean she'd come on the show? Why wouldn't she?
No, I mean, I just meant because of her schedule. She literally has her show.
She's got no schedule.
She has her show at 9, so she said she'd come in in the morning.
Yeah, 7 o'clock would be good. No,
Yeah.
she's very pleasant. When I met her, well, I will tell you this. Every radio person that I've met so far over at Hubbard's been very, very nice. A couple of them I haven't met, and I heard they're both pricks. But,
I'm obsessed with Donna Valentine. Like, she's
very nice, yeah.
So good at steering the show, and she's just so talented, but does it effortlessly, like a lot of things like you do, where she just does it and you don't even realize it. And, yeah.
No, she was great. She was very, very nice. Crisco, great guy.
Yeah.
Met him over there. So the bunch of people I met over there, they're all very, very nice.
Yeah.
Maybe the assholes stayed away from me. That might have been it.
No, I love working at, My Talk. It's super fun. And KS95 is great, too.
KS95. Well, how about WDGY and the HD2 channel of 107.1?
I don't think they're actually run by people anymore. It's like AI over there.
No, they got live people on here.
We just don't.
You know who was on there a couple of days last week?
Ray Eric.
Ray Eric was. I listened to him both days.
Yeah, no, I don't know what section they're in. Are they out of the KSTP building?
I have no idea. I have no clue where they work.
But yeah.
Maybe. Oh, we got to take a break.
Yeah.
I do know that. We'll be right back in a couple minutes, wrap things up right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombernardshow.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please, drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
It's time to beat the heat. This is Tom from my friends at Miller Marine and Power Lodge, giving you the keys to a cool lake breeze. With clearance pricing on 2023 luxury pontoons, fishing boats, and more, our dog days of summer won't last, and neither will their inventory. So do both of us a favor and go from floor to shore today with iconic Bennington pontoons and tri-toon packages at doorbuster pricing at Miller Marine in St. Cloud and all Power Lodge locations. Get your first cruise in by sunset. But don't wait on this limited time special. Power Lodge offers competitive financing with no money down. By the way, if you need delivery to your dock, their team of experts has you covered. Discover what thousands of our Minnesota neighbors have and explore our lakes and rivers in your own boat at Elite Savings. I said Elite Savings, darn it. Launch into adventure today at Miller Marine and Power Lodge. Just head to millermarine.com and powerlodge.com to see for yourself. Financing is available on approved credit. Freight and prep are not included in packages. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
It is 9:54 now, 6 minutes till 10 o'clock. Wrap things up with the number one junk food in every state. Would you have any idea what the number one junk food is in Minnesota?
I'm going to say Reese's.
Reese's?
Reese's peanut butter cups?
Yeah.
All right.
Only because it's local. Maybe Pearson's nut roll.
Nut roll, that'd be good. I like both guesses so far. Number one junk food in every state. So by junk food, does that include stuff like, the quick burgers and all that kind of stuff?
I don't know. That's a really good question because I was thinking candy.
Yeah.
I went candy.
It looks like, although Pringles are on the list.
Pringles.
Chips are also like in that mix of junk food.
Yeah, there
Pringles aren't even chips. They're called it's plywood something. It's chip adjacent.
Plywood.
Yeah.
Chip adjacent.
Potato crisp.
Yes, I think that's what it's
There
called.
you go. Okay, so you got salted nut roll and you got Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
Those are good.
They are so good.
Last Friday was National Junk Food Day, and pretty much everyone celebrated, whether they realize it or not. If you're wondering what America's go-to junk foods are, here's an inside look. A website used Google Trends data to determine the top 3 junk foods in every state. Overall, Starburst got the most love, followed by Pringles, Sour Patch Kids, and Skittles. That's so funny. I don't eat any of those.
Gross.
Not any of them.
Hand me one yellow Starburst, and I'll be good for a couple weeks. I don't need that.
Then you got Sour Patch Kids was number 1 in most states with 7. Arizona, California, Delaware, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, and North Carolina. Next was Animal Crackers and Kit Kats. No, I would eat Kit Kats. I like Kit Kats.
Kit Kats are so good.
Number 1 in 5 states. Some of the more unique number 1s are fruit roll-ups. That's lame.
That's super lame.
In Alaska and Louisiana, beef jerky being number 1 in Mexico. Funyuns, I didn't even know they still made those.
Funyuns should not be allowed anywhere where there are other humans. I hate the smell of Funyuns.
No, I agree. Alex used to eat them all the time.
She would.
Yeah, she would.
So weird.
She's very weird.
We heard her cheese dust.
It's because of Catherine made her weird.
Yeah.
So you got your Funyuns take the top spot in Texas. Swedish Fish. I don't even know what that is.
Those are the red fish.
They're like a gummy.
Oh, they're gummies?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're in that yellow bag with the red fish on it.
Swedish Fish being the big deal in Pennsylvania. Baby Ruth. Now, see, Baby Ruth's beating out everything else in South Carolina. I love a Baby Ruth. Nothing wrong with that. We still haven't seen Minnesota. That'd be interesting. I'm going to have to click on the map because they don't even include Minnesota in this. So I'll click on the little deal here and find out exactly what the number. Okay, so again, we're going with the what'd you go? Sour Patch Kids?
No, she went Reese's. I
Reese's,
went Pearson's nut roll.
Okay, let's see.
Sour Patch Kids is a good guess though, because I know a lot of people that love that.
It's lame.
I'm scared.
It's really lame.
Don't say animal crackers, because I don't know who the hell's eating animal crackers over the age of 4.
I haven't seen those in like 30 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I gave too much credit to people for wanting a good snack like a salted nut roll. Obviously, they're going to choose Sour Patch Kids. So disgusting.
What is it?
You got Pringles third.
Okay.
Which are terrible.
Terrible.
Terrible. Now Kit Kat came in second.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Minnesota. Okay.
But
I see you.
number 1's lame. Starburst.
Oh, gross.
Starburst. It's just as bad in Florida, though. Florida's Nerds, fruit roll-ups, and, I like Oreos, though.
Who eats Nerds? Oreo is a trash cookie.
Dorks. That's who eats Nerds.
Yeah, dorks, not nerds.
You know what? Wisconsin's making us look bad. They go with M&M's, cheddar goldfish, but then they close out with animal crackers.
Those are, honestly, besides M&M's, that list is yuck to me.
Then you got, Iowa's got Oreos, Starburst, and Twinkie. You got Baby Ruth is number 1 in South Dakota with Three Musketeers and Snickers, and North Dakota, Twizzlers, Starburst, and Kit Kat. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I am too. I don't know who's eating Oreos. I know my husband loves them. I'm not buying them. I think Oreos are just overrated.
Really?
The only nice thing about an Oreo is I like to drown it until the bubbles stop coming up.
Yeah, that's the perfect amount of drowning.
Yeah, it gives me a sense of serial killer.
Power.
Yeah, power,
you need that power in your life. We appreciate you taking it out on the Oreo.
Absolutely.
As a public representative.
Okay, what's your least favorite state in the union? Do you have one?
Least favorite state. I like to, I would say Rhode Island. Are you even real? What are you doing? Who are you?
Are you even real? You got, we got, where the hell did it go? I just had it up here.
It's like 17 people there.
Well, it's so damn small you can't click on the thing. That's the other. What are you looking for, Rhode Island?
Yeah.
Well, why won't it pop up?
Like Rhode Island. Do we even let them vote? I don't know.
New Hampshire.
It's like the dot on the top of an I.
Yeah, Rhode Island. It's black licorice. What other garbage food
Some
could
very
possibly be in there?
expensive. I bet you.
Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah.
Jolly Ranchers are terrible.
Yeah, and then it's just pancake backwash. That's what they love as a treat in Rhode
There
Island.
you go.
Gross. What about Alabama?
Alabama.
That's a big shithole.
Oh, that's kind of negative to all the Alabama.
Have you been to Alabama?
I've driven through it. I've never stayed in
Okay,
Alabama.
well.
I never have.
It's awful.
Let's see, Arkansas. See, the problem is that each state they don't have listed as a state. They have it listed as the candy.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, but Alabama is Butterfinger, Skittles, and Pringles. Butterfinger's pretty good.
Not bad. I'm a big fan. I like to bust the top layer of chocolate off the Butterfinger and then eat the inside.
You can't. The thing I have a problem with the Butterfinger is there's no way to eat them not extremely messy.
Yeah, they flake.
They flake
They do.
hard. Like it's like you want to just be able to eat that in your car and not have proof, and that's not going to happen.
I remember the first time I ever had a Butterfinger as a little boy, and I thought, these cannot be good for your teeth.
I was going to say, too, it's crazy how bad they go in your teeth.
They do.
And it feels like you're removing your whole filling if you take it out. Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it. We will talk to you tomorrow on Tom Barnard Show.